Hi, everybody. How's it going? So, sorry we're a minute late. I was promoting things on Instagram and got carried away. And yeah, how's everybody doing? It looks like a really active chat, which I am so excited about. And we are just thrilled to be back here on Thursday yet again. So, as you all know, last Thursday
And we are quite thirsty.
Oh yeah, Thirsty Thursday, of course. Cheers, Derek. And cheers to you all at home. Really, really pumped to be back, and hopefully this works this time. So just before we kind of get started, we wanted to really quickly just say thank you so much to all of you guys who are so understanding the past 2 weeks. Because, we do these every Thursday, and we love to do it. And last week we had some technical difficulties that hopefully we fixed for this week. And the week before, we had to cancel kind of last minute. So we just wanted to say we appreciate you guys so much for tuning in still and being here. And it really means a lot to us. And we're thrilled to just be back and hanging out. So yeah, we're in Indiana, just so you know. I think we kind of mentioned that last week. And we are actually at Derek's parents' house, and we set up my office setup to be pretty similar to...
Hopefully it looks similar.
It's sort of similar to what you might recognize from my office in Chicago. And hopefully you guys like it so far. It's, still got the window pane with the plants and the Notting Hill Gate sign and the big tree. And during the daytime, there's a pretty nice backyard back there, but you can't really see it right now.
And let us know in the comments if we're lagging at all, because it looks like on my phone we might be, but it might just be my phone's connection. So let me know if you guys are having any issues in the comments, please.
Yeah. So it looks like, though, everything's kind of working in terms of hearing things. And it says excellent connection.
Yep.
So hopefully it's an excellent connection.
It's working well, yeah.
Okay, so backstory to last week is this is actually a decent sized house, and this room is on the other side of the house from the Wi-Fi router. So even though the Wi-Fi is really strong and good speed, it just didn't reach this far. So that's why, unfortunately, as most of you all experienced, we lost internet last week. But
yeah, it's kind of funny. It's like the Wi-Fi modem is in one corner of the house, and we're in the exact opposite corner, one floor down. So we're about as far away from the modem as you can get.
Yeah,
so.
We're closer to another house probably than that modem.
Yeah, hopefully it's working this time.
Yeah, but we bought those Wi-Fi extenders and put them throughout the house. So yeah, acing it hopefully. But just want to say welcome and hello to everybody who's already joined. So let me back up. Mark from Walter's World is on, and he joined 1 minute early, which was so thrilling to see, because I was just sitting here doing, my work and getting everything ready, and then all of a sudden I saw a friendly screen name pop up. So thank you, Mark, for joining. Really, really fun to have you, and hopefully Jocelyn there.
I think we might be lagging.
Oh no, not lagging. I mean, lagging's okay as long as it's not freezing. Some people are saying no lagging.
Frozen.
Oh, Mary Ellen's saying. Dang. Okay, let's see what we got here. Open widget. It says we have a good connection, but not excellent anymore. What is it doing to us? Okay, well, it might be buffering.
Is there a way to lower the quality that we're streaming at?
Potentially. Is that a good thing to do?
Yeah, if we lower it, it should make it easier.
Okay,
That's possible.
let's give that a go.
Lower the settings.
Potentially. Is that a good So this is what we used to do, but then YouTube started yelling at us.
That's possible.
Let's give that a go.
I think we're back because my facial expression has changed here, and I look very concerned on my screen. So I think maybe we're back, but I don't know.
Gotta love that.
I think we're back
All right,
because my
so
facial expression
hopefully
I look very concerned.
Mark and Jocelyn heard.
Yeah, Mark's saying I
Wonderful
think some
shout-out.
of us lower the quality of your stream sometimes.
Gotta love it.
That's funny.
All right.
Audio is still fine. That's good. Okay.
Yay. Okay, so
I think we're back. Yeah,
Um,
Mark's saying I think some of us lower the
I hope
quality
you
of
can
your
see
stream
us.
sometimes.
And if not, we're just going to keep shouting everybody out. So, anyway,
Audio
that
stuff.
was our earliest arrival, was
I
Walter's
think we're
World.
back.
And we were so
Mark's saying, I think
thrilled to
some
see
of us
that.
lower the
And then Darian was also a very early arrival. So, hello, Magnificent Germany with Darian. It's so good to have you on as always. And hope your week is going well. David in Seattle, I know I already kind of said hi in the chat before we started, but
Yep,
he
good to
is
see you,
sitting,
David.
he's sitting on his balcony drinking a craft beer, and I was like, that's nice. Yeah, it sounds like it's really good weather in Seattle right now. August, best weather in Seattle.
Mary Ellen, welcome.
Yeah, and
Thank
Mary
you for
Ellen's
joining.
on. I hope you're having a great
Eliz
week too, Mary Ellen.
Zacharias, thank you for
Yeah, that was my mistake. I accidentally said something from a
Mary
different
Ellen,
account.
welcome. Thank you for joining.
And Scorpio Sue, welcome.
Liz
Thanks for joining. She
Zacharias,
was saying to
thank
me
you for
earlier that she was joining. We were DMing on Instagram. So I'm excited to see her. She said doing live stream and college info Zoom meeting for my 17
Right, they're saying that we're echoing a little bit.
Oh no.
Can you maybe take out that and just put it on here?
Yeah, but I actually wonder if it's because we have the
They're
air
saying
vent on.
that we're echoing.
So you can tell that we haven't really done much in here yet because we are still working through the setup. But I'm gonna turn off this overhead fan too.
Okay. Bear with us, people.
Tell that we haven't really done much in here yet.
It is.
because we
It is
are
a
still working through the setup.
struggle.
But I'm gonna
Struggle
turn off
bus.
this overhead fan. It's not a struggle. It's just a process.
Bear with us, people. We're learning. Jim Bren, welcome. Peter Melander, hello. Scorpio Sue, thank you for joining us. Hopefully we're not too bad. Bear
I
with
think
us,
it's
people.
getting
We're
slower
learning.
up there.
Jim Bren, welcome. Peter Melander, hello.
All right. And
Scorpio
then,
Sue. So they said the echo starting to made the adjustment to settings.
oh
bad.
no.
Try changing the microphone. Jim Bren.
Okay. And if I do that though, I think I have to do it like
So they
this.
said the echo starting to made the adjustment to settings.
Thanks everybody for staying on.
Try changing the
Okay, so can you still hear us? Please give us as quickly as you can that feedback because I just switched microphones and yeah. That
Mark, I
always
did-
scares me.
Mark, I did not leave my stuff on. Does that help?
Okay, hopefully that
I don't know.
helps.
Mark says yes.
Good. Okay.
Cool. There we go.
Yeah, I bet because the external microphone picks up like all sounds and I can hear the AC above us. So I bet that's what that is doing.
Cool.
Guys,
Hey!
thanks. Thanks for
All
the
right.
immediate feedback. All right.
There we go.
We're teamwork makes the dream work or teamwork makes the live stream work.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I need to drink more.
yeah. Sip to that one.
Okay, guys.
All right. Sorry. Okay, so
Somebody slap happy.
I am. I'm like so excited to be doing this. Oh gosh, something else. This is just.
Oh, that's your internet. Sorry. All of a
Okay.
sudden, Eliz's
So-
email popped up. I was like, what's happening?
I think you already said hi. Let's just jump back into the chat. So,
Okay.
hi, Thomas Reiser. I think we're actually really close to you right now. I've been following along on some of your travels, and you are in Cincinnati area, which
Yeah.
we're kind of there, sort of.
Basically.
Outskirts. So we're not too far away from you. And then Peter Melander, hello from DC, he says. Welcome, welcome. And then Jim Bren, welcome. I don't think you've been on this chat before, but we every Thursday night talk about travel. It's going to happen. We've just been saying hi to everybody first, but hopefully you're here to chat. Drew, hey, hello friend.
What's up, buddy?
And Mary Ellen, yes, she says hi from Connecticut. Nice.
Vega Bonnie, hello, welcome.
Hi, Bonnie. Welcome, welcome.
Eric
and Eric.
Brown.
It's the Means team. Yes. Making the live stream work.
Glad you could join. Hopefully, if you went bowling, it was fun.
Yeah. Says Derek with the long hippie hair. You got your haircut last week.
Yeah, my hair's not that long. I mean, it gets kind of long.
You didn't cut much of the front.
No.
He just got it cut on the sides a bit.
Short
I
on
also
the
got my
sides.
hair cut last week. Thanks for noticing. It always gets just like a little trim. And then Nick Barnett, hello, welcome.
Yes, and Nick, no, we are not in Chicago right now.
No, so just for everybody who missed at the very beginning, we are temporarily for several weeks at Derek's parents' house, and we actually moved my office stuff and like a bed down here to kind of give it a little bit more homey feeling and stuff. And so we had a pretty big moving experience in the past 2 weeks that we can just breeze over real quick with you guys. But we put a ton of stuff in storage and like rented out our house, like we've told you all, to a great family in Chicago. And so they moved in last Friday.
Yep.
Our last day in the house was last Thursday, and we drove literally straight from the house to here and tried to do the live stream last Thursday, like as if there would be nothing that went wrong, and there was. But anyway, so
Try lowering it again. It looks like we might be frozen again.
oh my goodness, what if I just keep talking? Will it just
No.
stop?
Try
Try lowering what?
try lowering the
The bit rate?
bit rate.
I wish you would troubleshoot it or just keep talking.
Back here.
Yeah, because it likes the higher bit rate. YouTube does.
But is that? I just don't know how to do this stuff.
I know you don't. That's why I actually think it maybe needs to be. Derek just shows up.
I do. I just. Okay, so Mark is saying that he can hear us, and
Okay.
yes, I do just show up. Eliz is the video guru person. Is this like the 1080p? Is that what the bit rate is?
No, again, 1080p is for like uploading a video. And
Okay.
That, like the frame rate for video, yeah.
Okay.
Keep talking while
All right. Yeah.
I'm trying to
So
troubleshoot
we.
or else
Yeah.
nobody's
Okay.
talking.
Okay. So I guess if you can still hear me, I'm not sure if you can, but if you can still hear me, we moved out of Chicago. We've rented out our house for a year, and we are going to do a little bit of traveling. So what we're doing is we are spending the next few weeks here in Indiana, like Eliz mentioned, with my family, and spending some time hopefully on a boat if the weather cooperates, and then we will be heading to the UK. We actually booked our flights yesterday.
Yes.
So we booked some flights to London for the 14th. We got them on points, so if anything
September 14th.
changes, yep, September 14th. And so if anything changes, we'll be able to kind of like fix it and get our points back and money back and all that kind of stuff. So that's not a big deal. It's just about, having a plan and having a date set. So we are scheduled to be in the UK starting on the 15th, I guess, because we leave on the 14th and we'd arrive the morning of the 15th.
Yeah, we're excited. Okay, so I hope it's back to being better. I like Peter's outlook on live stream life. Intermittent fasting is okay. Always a chance it'll freeze on a funny face. So we should start just making funny faces.
Intermittent freezing, not fasting. So intermittent fasting is great too.
Did I say fasting?
Yes, you did.
That's funny. Sorry, I meant freezing.
They're both fun.
But Eric says he can hear it clear, which is good. And hey, Katie Smith.
So based on Peter's saying, I'm just going to keep this face. Just in case. Very exciting. We're looking forward to it. We're now looking at where we're going to quarantine, which is kind of the next big thing on our list, because going to the UK from the US, you do have to quarantine for 14 days. They actually recently announced that they do have set up a facility at Heathrow where you can get a COVID-19 test upon arrival. However,
Yeah, I was like, wait, there's a
however,
caveat.
there is a caveat. Don't take that and run with it. Currently, the UK government has not said that if you get the test, they'll shorten your quarantine. And so, we're not going to assume that even if we go and get a test taken, that we would be able to shorten our quarantine below the 14 days. So our plan is to go get a month-long rental somewhere in the UK that we would go straight to and stay at for the first month.
I just want to interrupt real quick because while Derek is mostly right, I just want to be very clear. So they don't actually have the testing facility running yet. They have it set up at Heathrow. So the facility is ready to go. They're just waiting for the UK government to say that testing would then affect how, like, people's quarantine length. Otherwise, it's kind of a useless tool. Like, nobody would use it. We wouldn't probably spend the money to do it if it didn't affect our quarantine anyway.
Yep.
So while it's there, it's not operational at present. We're hoping sometime in between today and September 14th it will become that way, though. So keep your fingers crossed for us.
Yeah, but so we're going into it assuming that we won't be able to shorten the quarantine time period at all. And so what we wanted to do is make sure that we're paying the least amount of money possible for that first 2 weeks, that we're not really able to go out and explore. And so right now our thought is that we're trying to start out up in Scotland, so we can start north, so that we're up north towards like the end of September exploring things, and then work our way kind of south from there, so hopefully it's not too cold while we're up there. So right now we're kind of looking at Edinburgh.
Yep. Although we have people that want us to go to Glasgow too.
Glasgow is a great city too.
But
so
if we're going to be quarantining, we found like a really cute Airbnb that we're hoping will work out. We'll see. I'm very upfront with all the Airbnb people that we've reached out to or thought about it, and just said like, hey, we're coming from America. We're looking for a long stay because we're going to be quarantining. Can I get grocery delivery to your place? Can I get food delivery? Like that sort of thing.
What's your Wi-Fi like?
What's your Wi-Fi like? And we kind of went over that in a previous live stream of like questions that you wouldn't normally ask unless you were going into a very strict quarantine for Airbnb rentals. So yeah, I'll try to like I guess as we go through our plans, tell you about what we're thinking with that too, and just go over some of those again. But it's just an interesting process, and it seems like a lot of the Airbnb folks actually aren't used to getting those questions. But it's obviously like we're going to be living there for a month in that one particular spot, so we got to know some of these answers.
Yeah exactly. And as where did I see that? Somebody was saying about how so Nick Barnett's is mentioning how much they miss the exciting feeling you get when you book an international flight, and it was kind of fun to like do and be like, hey, we're flying internationally, that's cool, like, that would be fun.
We even selected our meal.
Yes, we selected a meal. We
booked with miles, and we booked business class. So that way we can socially distance ourselves pretty well.
A little bit better because it's a less cramped cabin.
Yeah, so. And you kind of get your own little spot, and you get meal service and stuff like that. So we are very much eager to see what this experience is going to be like and how it's going to be different from what we've done in the past.
Pre-COVID, yep.
And also just like. Flying for that long with a mask on the whole time, it's going to be a different sleeping experience on a red eye, even.
Yeah. So we have, for instance, we have masks that are a little bit more,
We have N95s, and then we have like the ones that
Almost
we
like
got
they
for
call them
China.
like fashion masks and stuff too, like where they look nicer, they're a little bit sleeker, but they're also heavier duty, so I find them a little bit harder to breathe in and slightly less comfortable than like if you were to get like a surgical mask, for instance. And surgical masks are totally fine for planes and stuff. So there's a part of me that wants to get some surgical masks for the plane rides.
Are you talking about the disposable masks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And get those because they're more comfortable, and I feel like you can breathe easier, and I think that I would sleep better in those.
Yeah.
So I think we need to get a couple of those to take with us just to make the flight easier. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to be constantly drinking a Heineken because I think you're allowed to have your mask off if you're drinking and eating.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll just be constantly like minor sips. But no, of course, if anybody tells me to put on a mask, I will, because I will not be that person on a plane refusing to adhere to the policy.
Yeah, but I think we're going to have multiple mask options, that's for sure. Don't want to run into any issues. Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're doing. I would say that, like Eliz mentioned, we did do it on points. So that takes a little bit of the trepidation away, because we're not like, if things go wrong, we have recourse to get all that stuff back, and that's great.
The points that it cost are like so much less than usual too.
Yes.
For obvious reasons, but it's just really nice. And we booked on American specifically because Derek has status on American, and we booked both of our tickets through his account. So for that reason, he has a specific status that lets you cancel and get completely refunded, including like taxes, if you have to change your ticket. So we're eliminating a little bit of a risk of if something needed to change around or whatever, then we can get our money back and our points back. So
So I will say that American versus I looked at trying to use like Delta points or something like that for international flights, and they didn't have the same kind of deals that American was having. American has some pretty good like web-based deals for like business class and whatnot right now that are pretty nice. So I think our flights are one-way business class are like $78,500 per person, with like a $5.60 like cash charge, and that's pretty darn good. I think
and that's
usually
from Cincinnati to London.
Yeah, and I think that usually that would be
our layovers in Chicago, right?
In the hundreds of thousands of points usually to do that. And I looked to do a similar thing on Delta, and it was in the hundreds of thousands of points to do. So we have a ton of American miles because I typically fly American for business, so got a lot of those on layaway, and we'll be able to hopefully use some of them and get some of that value back, which is what we're excited for.
Yeah.
So
I know that I scrolled around, and I don't want to miss saying hi to anybody. So I'm going to scroll back a little bit because I just want to make sure everybody feels welcome. We're excited that they're here. And Derek needs to pour some more wine, apparently. Oh, do you want to tell them, by the way, which wine we're drinking?
We're drinking a 2013 Dutcher Crossing Zinfandel from the Dry Creek Valley of Sonoma. And we actually...
outside of Healdsburg in Sonoma.
Yes. So we actually went to this vineyard the first time we went to wine country in California. And that's when my brother lived up in Sonoma, and we really enjoyed it. So we bought, I think, some of their Chardonnay as well as their Zin, and decided it was time to open it up.
His older brother used to be a financial advisor in Santa Rosa. Oh my gosh, we loved visiting.
Yeah, it's like, why would you leave?
Yeah, it's like, I guess he's a lot closer now.
I like to visit him in Indiana too.
Yes, yeah, so he lives in Indianapolis now. Hey, Ryan Donahue and Lori Sims, welcome, if I didn't say that before.
Ryan, hello. Lori, hello.
There's a lot of people giving us feedback on the old
Luckily,
echo.
the echo. I'm sorry.
And then Nick Barnett, if I didn't say hi, hello to you. And did I miss anybody? I'm so sorry if I did. I'm like trying to go through everyone. Oh, Michael Mann's on!
Hey,
hello.
Michael Mann and Ermi Eichner.
And Ermi. Hi, Ermi. Welcome. I've seen Ermi on a lot of Darian's things. She's so passionate about Germany as well. I love it. I love their camaraderie on that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I do get a lot of, Darian, I love the pictures that you send on Instagram with how much you love, like, all the places in Germany. It's awesome.
Ugh.
It's really great. I was about to butcher a pronunciation on a place, so I stopped myself.
It's Edelweiss or something.
Maybe.
Sorry, Darian, in advance of our German pronunciations, but I feel like we've been through this before, and you love having us try.
Yeah. Although I will say, so I got a, I don't know if it was Travel and Leisure or one of those types of publications. I got a thing from it, and it was saying, 30 places that are straight out of a fairy tale.
So, I don't know about you guys, but I typically have, so yours was online.
Yes, mine was
and you
listed.
sent it to me. But I've always subscribed to, like, the top travel magazines, Travel and Leisure, Kind Nast Traveler, Afar, and back in the day, oh my gosh, why am I... Traveler, National Geographic Traveler. Sorry, it folded, so I was like blanking on it. But ever since we decided to go on this grand adventure, I no longer am getting the travel magazines.
She's been slowly like stopping her subscriptions.
Man, okay, if you collect magazines, it's like the hardest thing to move. So
they're heavy.
They're
very heavy. We have a box somewhere in here that's just like magazines, and it's broke my back. That's why I'm sitting.
It was real. I warned him too in advance. I was like, by the way, these are all my magazines, and he was like, oh my god.
Made me feel like an old man.
Yeah.
So
Mark Finley's on.
Hey, Mark.
And hi, Terry.
Welcome.
And maybe Piglet's there too. We don't know.
Maybe April. I don't know.
Maybe
Who
April.
knows?
But thanks for joining.
So I guess what I was gonna say though, what I was starting to say was that I got this listicle served to me on like all these beautiful places. So I was purposely going through it and trying to find all the different locations that are in the UK, because I was like, ooh, we can go see some fairy tale locations once our quarantine's done.
Yeah.
And it had a number of places that we had been to and a number that we hadn't been to in the UK.
Were the ones like the Cotswolds? Sorry, I didn't actually read it yet. Tell me more.
Sad. No, so it had places like the Fairy Pools and the Isle of Skye, which we did not see. But we did go to Isle of Skye and we want to go back. It had Glenfinnan Aqueduct area or Viaduct in Scotland as well.
That was so beautiful. Have any of you guys been to Scotland, by the way? Just put it in the live chat.
Yes.
Because
Scotland's awesome.
We are
Big
kind
fans.
of currently planning a return trip to Scotland. So would love to hear what you guys loved as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, Scotland, that's one of your favorite countries.
It really is, yeah.
Scotland's great.
I've always said I would love to live in Edinburgh, so the fact that we're considering this quarantine and then extended stay in Edinburgh is like, oh, maybe this is serendipitous in some way. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we get to say that we, knock on wood, but we'll be able to say that we lived in Edinburgh.
I think it's beautiful. I love that city just for so many reasons, but I think we never would have been able to live there if it weren't for being able to do things remotely during this time, because what Derek does, his industry just doesn't exist there, and I worked in media, now I'm kind of more doing my own media thing, and there's just not a big media industry there either. So yeah, here we are, hopefully doing things from a remote location in the heart of Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Gotta work on my Scottish brogue.
Oh, I'm sure they would not appreciate us trying.
Just keep drinking.
Maybe with more and more whiskey where it's gonna come out.
Yeah. No, and we found a place that we thought would be pretty cool because it's like a very it's in the old town and it's like nice and centrally located. So if that comes through, we'll have a pretty cool spot. Which would be a lot of fun to kind of, stream from during that time when we're quarantined and, use as a home base to kind of explore the city over a longer period of time. Because while we've both been to Edinburgh now a few times, we haven't spent that much time there, like, consistently. We've spent, like, a few days kind of bookending trips kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice
There's
to kind of
also,
explore it and dig in.
What's super interesting about the times that Derek and I have been to Scotland is that, so both of us have some Scottish ancestry, but neither of us have actually pursued going to the towns that our ancestors are from.
This time we can. Oh my
and
goodness.
we're like, this time we can.
I'm
so
going
like,
to Ayrshire, guys.
Yeah, so Derek's family's from Ayr, which is on the west coast but south of Glasgow. And then my family is like a border clan. The Armstrongs were like the defenders.
They were rowdy.
We were the rowdy border clan.
A bunch of rabble-rousing, rowdy thugs.
And actually, most of the clan territory is now in present-day England, but we were Scottish. And there's, right on the English-Scottish border, an Armstrong clan museum that is in an old Scottish castle. And I've always wanted to go. And maybe this is it. Maybe this is when we get to go, if it's open. I mean, I actually haven't even looked it up. And obviously you have to check those things in 2020. So we'll see if it's open, and if it's open, we'll go.
Nick Barnett, yes, their arms were strong.
Yep.
I guess the legend goes that the like founder of the Armstrong line was some knight, and he like lifted somebody up one-handed or something like that.
I think he got knighted after that, but yes.
But he got knighted
like
because he
and, like, lifted somebody
like
up to
the
safety.
lord or the king or somebody like that saved him that way, and so then they were called Clan Armstrong after that because he had muscles.
Yeah, and my clan motto, which of course, like in Scotland, you have like the clan plaid, which is not this, and you have tartan. Sorry,
Tartan. Yes.
And then you have like the clan crest, and then there's a clan motto, and our clan motto is Latin, and it's Invictus Mineo, which translates to I remain unvanquished, and it's like basically because the Armstrongs were like the defenders of Scotland. They were
cool.
Yeah.
My family in Scotland were a bunch of coal miners, so we had nothing.
No clan motto?
No motto.
I don't know, we could look it up. Maybe there was a motto.
Maybe.
Anyway, so yeah, that's our spiral into family history in Scotland territory.
Yeah, so, but a lot of people actually did share a little bit of stuff about Scotland and their stuff here. But first, I want to mention Mark Finley, who says that Terry, Piglet, and April all accounted for. And April made macaroons.
Macarons.
Macarons? Macaron.
That's it.
And gave one to her boss at the bakery, and her boss said they were the best she's ever had. So,
nice.
Awesome.
April sounds like the best, baker. I really wish that we lived closer. Although technically, so that's another update of me and Derek. We're on a diet that does not include sugar right now.
It has a great name. It's called the Virgin Diet.
Yes.
The dietitian's name
like
is JJ Virgin. That's actually her name, so it has nothing to do with other stuff.
But we recruited Derek's brother and his mom to do this with us.
It's fun.
Somehow.
It's basically, so it's meant to do, it's an elimination diet meant to see if you have food, like, sensitivities. So are you sensitive to gluten, sugar, corn, whatever, soy, other stuff. So we eliminated these 6 things, and we're going to, see how we feel at the end of it. We're getting towards the tail end of the first week, and we'll go from there. So it should be fun.
Yeah, so we won't be able to eat macarons, whatever, for weeks. It's so sad, but eventually we'll bring gluten and dairy back.
However,
and it'll be better. Life will be better.
The day of our flight is the first day that we're off our diet, so we'll be fine.
No, that's the first day of bringing one thing back.
I'm flying first class. I am eating it.
Yeah, that's so true.
I'm eating what they give me.
Shh, don't tell your
family. Eliz actually mentioned that we when we booked everything on the app, it gives you the option when you're in business class or whatever to pick your meal. And so we were going through it, and I don't remember what you picked. Did you pick the prime rib?
I picked the beef.
The beef, the short rib or whatever.
Short rib, yeah.
which is actually usually pretty tasty on the flights. And I
Yeah.
pick the crab cakes.
I almost always get the beef on international flights. What do you guys get? Out of curiosity, do you get like? There's always usually like a pasta, some sort of fish, or like a chicken or a beef. Let us know.
I usually get a pasta, personally, because I think a pasta is usually pretty hard to screw up too badly. Whereas chicken can be super dry, fish can be gross. And I like fish. I really do like fish. But, I think it's hit or
I
miss
don't
on
love
the plane.
microwaved airplane fish though.
Yeah. But like a ravioli on a plane, go
Yeah.
for it. Give me some Chef Boyardee, I'll be happy. But
What if it was? What if they just opened the can and they were like, "Here you
Here
go." You'd be like, "All right."
yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, just give me the can, and I'll just like eat it out of the can.
Oh, Mark,
So
you
good.
crush it. Yeah, Air France, the duck is good. So, I was supposed to fly Air France okay, so we were supposed to fly Air France in like 2016, I
Yeah,
think.
sure.
And it got canceled. And then I haven't been able to fly Air France since, I don't think. I feel like we had another round that got canceled or something. Like, basically, we've had the worst luck with Air France.
Yeah. No, I haven't flown. So they're a code share with Delta, so I haven't flown them because every time I've gone to France, it's been on American to Paris.
And
So,
every time I go abroad on standby, it has to be a Delta body. It can't be like a code share partner, so I can't fly KLM. I can't fly Air France.
Yeah.
Which is super unfortunate sometimes. But regardless, I would absolutely order the duck. Hands down, first thing. I am a huge fan of duck, and I'm sure Air France does it well.
Yeah, so our flight right now is scheduled to go through
Eric B. Actually, wait, hold on. I have to read his. I fly Norwegian and I eat a sandwich from the airport. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're gonna charge you what, like $50 or something for a sandwich.
Yeah, we one thing that I would say is that typically, especially if you're not in like a business class or anything, even if you're in business class, the food, I mean, it's airplane food, so it's oversalted. There's a lot of reasons why it's not great. So I always recommend eating at the airport because the food will just be better. There's also a thing about, given the pressure in the cabin and everything, your taste buds actually taste food differently. So
Yep.
it's just better to eat it on the ground.
So,
I always recommend that. And if you have access to a lounge, you can actually get some decent food sometimes, depending on the city that you're out of. So, for instance, at O'Hare, if you're flying American internationally in like business class or whatever, you can get really nice lounge access that usually, I don't know how it is today because of COVID, but pre-COVID you could get sushi, you could get like really good like food, which is, I think is great. And if you have the Amex Platinum card, and you're in certain places, so if you're in LaGuardia or Denver or Vegas or Dallas, you can go to the Centurion lounges, and they always have, I think, excellent food, at least from my perspective.
Yeah.
For lounge food, it's really good. So I always, if I'm flying through those, I'm going to go there and eat that rather than whatever's on the plane because it's just so much better.
Yeah, so there's
At least
several
with the American
reasons
flights.
to eat in advance. Number one is you're probably going to find something you like better because the choices on the plane, a lot of times they're good, but most of the time they're not good. It's a toss-up.
Yes.
There's actually one time where, especially if you have like a food sensitivity, I think I saw like Bonnie's. Oh yeah, so Bonnie, for example, has a gluten allergy. I don't know if that's celiac or if it's just a gluten heavy sensitivity. But like for example, I try to eat dairy free because I'm lactose intolerant. Like that sort of thing, it really limits you on what you can order on the planes and feel like you're eating well. So just being able to kind of choose what you eat, especially if you have that type of limitation, is really key. Like Derek was saying, they actually add, because you taste things differently up in the air, they add a lot of salt, and that salt bloats you and messes with your digestion in a lot of different ways. So eating in advance for that reason too can kind of help your comfort level.
Yeah, there's actually some really interesting, like videos and articles that you can read about, like what the chefs and sommeliers and all these other people
Yeah.
do to like
Singapore Airlines
figure
does
it
the
all out.
coolest thing. They have a pressurized kitchen, basically.
Mhm.
So they have their taste testers actually taste their food in like this pressurized, sterile environment that simulates an airplane.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I've seen some travel shows about that.
Yeah, and Lori is saying for those of us who can't afford business class, yeah, and choose not to do the platinum
yeah.
things, it's just eat before the flight. I agree.
Sorry,
and
I was gonna say.
can I
Wait.
finish? Fine.
Sorry, I was just. I realized I forgot to in that part. That I was gonna say that I was on a flight once that somebody was a vegetarian and needed to order the pasta dish, but the pasta dish was like super popular, and by the time the flight attendants got to her, all of the pasta dishes had been kind of given away, and so she just literally had nothing she could eat. So that's another thing too.
And that was in economy.
That was in economy, yeah.
Yep. So what I would say towards the back, yeah. So what I would say is, all right, that actually just to piggyback off of that, and I'll get back to the lawyer's thing in a second, but when picking your seat in the flight, I would say try not to be in the very back of any section, whether that's business class or economy or premium economy. Try to be in the middle if you can, because I've seen them go both ways. I've seen them start in the front and work their way back, and I've seen them start in the back and work their way front. So my recommendation, go kind of in the middle, and hopefully no matter what, you'll get what you need.
Yeah.
That's my recommendation, at least.
There is one time, this like literally never happens, but my friends and I flew standby on a holiday weekend, all on a Delta flight, and because there was so many people listing as standby really last minute on our flight to Paris, they actually ran out of food on the plane and had to ask several of us if we were okay to skip a meal too. And so thank goodness we had eaten, in advance and everything was fine. That if you're a paying customer will not happen. Absolutely. It was kind of like a hey, do you mind sort of thing. But there was like a lot of things that occurred that led to that being the case.
Yeah, so that's interesting. But getting back to what Lori was saying, which is around, for those of us who can't afford business class and all this kind of stuff, we would never pay for a business class flight. I will just say that. We're actually probably the only reason we're taking business class now is that we're going there for a very long period of time, and we likely, because of quarantine, need to travel kind of immediately after we land, because the rules in the UK right now are that you have to go directly from the airport basically to your quarantine hotel or wherever you're staying at. Yeah. And because of that, we either might need to drive, get on a train, or get on another flight once we land. So we want to be as well rested as we can be, so business class is important there. Also, the affordability from a point perspective, it's pretty great right now. So there's no, from our perspective, we have a lot of points, and we don't necessarily have a lot of opportunities to use them in the near term, in the next year or so. So we want to take advantage of them now while we can to like get a little bit better service and whatnot. It's worth it to us. We would never pay the amount of money that people ask for. Like business class seats are thousands of dollars usually, and I would not spend that. Personally.
Yeah. I just want to respond to Nick Barnett's question. Like I was saying, this would never happen on any airline if you were a paying customer. It's that we were flying standby at an association with like employee stuff with Delta. And so basically, like it was a holiday weekend, and there was a ton of people just trying to get to Europe. And so there were a lot of employees who listed very last minute on the plane, like on that flight. So they had already filled that flight's meals. Because they'll put enough meals on the plane and then some, like an hour before, an international flight. But because there were people that listed really close to the limit, they kind of had to like start asking some of the employee the people flying standby
to not take meals.
To not take meals, and maybe that happened to like, I think I got a meal, but I think my 2 friends did not, and I think it maybe happened to like 3 people out of 100 people flying standby on that flight. So it really, like, it was not a lot, but it could happen if you are in a situation like that.
Yeah. So that's that. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But that's just another reason why you should have options. Maybe bring some food on the plane with you, a few snacks. We usually find that to be helpful, especially long haul flights. If you're not into the kind bars or whatever it is that they have on the plane, it's like, or chips or whatever that they give you. It's nice to bring those.
Bye,
if you
Nick
want, like, veggies or,
Thanks for joining.
Or whatever. So,
yeah.
And yes, Nick, thank you for joining. Have a great evening.
Really fun to have you.
But then, Ermi Eichner makes a point that, her and her husband actually do fly business class, and they pay because they don't have the points. But while it's expensive, it's worth it. And I think it depends on, what the delta in price looks like, as well as what the, is it a long haul flight, like a true long haul flight, and how much time do you have on the ground once you get there? Because I think there is a reason why you might want to pay for it if you only have a limited amount of time where you're going, but it's a very long flight. And you want to make sure you sleep on the flight.
It's so hard to fall asleep on those flights that are like under 7 hours or something. Like going from, especially like the east coast of the U.S. to Europe, it's, or the eastern part of North America to Europe, you're not going to get a full night's sleep no matter what. So I can understand, especially if you have the means, that it's worth it. And in COVID times, like, Derek and I definitely felt like it was worth the miles. We could have spent very little in miles to fly economy to London in a couple weeks, but we decided against it, and to use those miles just so we can, 1, sleep, and 2, feel a little bit more socially distant.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And also, it really does come down to
Nick P says hi from Cameron in Arizona.
Hey, Nick P.
As long as it's not Cameron, Louisiana. Hello, Nick P. I'm so
nothing against Cameron, Louisiana.
Well, that's where the hurricane hit.
Yeah, it's the hurricane. Like, our hearts are out for the people of Cameron, Louisiana.
I'm just like reading all of the things, and it sounds so bad.
Luckily, my family in Texas is all in like the Houston area, and they primarily got spared.
Yeah. Houston sort of got spared compared to what they thought was going to happen, it sounds like, which is so good. But, I mean, Yeah,
I was talking to a good buddy of mine, actually, on the phone who lives down in Houston. He was very happy for the fact that they boarded up for no reason, so that was good. But, yeah, Nick, been awesome following your adventures, and we did get a card from you not that long ago. That's pretty cool. Thank you for that.
Right before we moved, we got your postcard. Thank you so much. And Tyler Hansen, welcome.
Tyler! Hey.
Welcome
Hello,
to you, beautiful person.
Yeah, Tyler, we need to get together. We're down here now, so let's hang out, man.
Yeah.
No, so what I would say, though, is that I feel like I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry, I got like really distracted by Nick P and Tyler.
I was gonna come back to Nick P.
Were you talking about going abroad stuff, or were you talking about other stuff?
I have no idea.
Oh man.
Think.
Think.
As Winnie the Pooh would say. So let's roll the tapes. No, let's go back to.
Nick P says the Grand Canyon is freaking sweet. Did the South Rim yesterday and the North Rim today. Awesome. I've only been to the South Rim, which I know, like, the North Rim only gets, like, something like 10% of the tourists that the South Rim gets. So that's really cool that you're doing both.
So Mary Ellen, I think, had a really cool... Where is it?
Oh, yeah, we have to talk about everybody's
we never got to the Scotland stuff.
I know. And I had highlighted that for you to read from Peter.
Yeah, Peter Melander says, if you're only breathing into the beer bottle, that's essentially a mask too.
That's on the
flight. A plane, yeah. There we go. Okay, so...
A straw works under a mask, says Lori Sims. I love that. Yes, it does.
Yeah. Bonnie is saying, ugh, there's a new term now, maskne, the irritation left from wearing a mask.
So during our moving process, we were wearing like the N95 masks around actually having movers.
Yeah.
Because we have to be incredibly careful. We now are in a household where Derek's mom has an autoimmune disorder, a very significant one. So we just during the moving process were extremely cautious. And like kept socially distant from the movers as much as possible, even and stuff. So from that reason, we were wearing our N95 masks. Oh my gosh, it was so hot. Like literally sweating in these masks.
We had multiple like movers that were helping us, and they would always ask like, "Do we need to wear a mask? Because it's not great." And we'd always say like, in the house you have to. When you walk out of the house, you can pull it down or whatever you want to do. That's fine. Just in the house because of where we're going. And we had our masks on pretty much the whole time, and
it was awful.
That's terrible. It's really
and by awful I mean like it was uncomfortable but important to do.
And we weren't just like sitting back and like watching movers do things. We were like actively engaged in like moving boxes and all this kind of stuff. Helped the truck when we got to the storage unit. We were very active, and it was just kind of like.
And our storage unit is on like an upper floor, so we'd have to like load everything onto the dolly, put it in the elevator, take it to the, and it was hot. Moving in August, I'm sure, is always hot. So you guys are probably like, whatever, we've heard it before.
The things you don't think about unless you've done it, sweating into a mask, it starts to smell pretty bad too. It's kind of gross. So now that you've had that to think about, sorry, I went too far back.
But you know what? I don't know if we were going to tell them this last week. So we rented a car on our way down here. And Derek drove the rental car, and I drove our Toyota. Guess what they gave Derek? I was so jealous.
So I went in, and it was really funny. So I rented a car from, like, in the loop of Chicago.
Which is downtown.
Downtown, like, business district. And we rented the cheapest SUV option, so we had a lot of space to put in boxes. And I get there, and they're like... all right, so full-size SUV. All right, we've got a Hyundai. We've got a Toyota. Or I can give you the Range Rover. And I was like, I'll take a Range Rover. Yeah. Same price? And they're like, yeah, same price. I'm like, gimme. I want the Range Rover. So I get to drive a Range Rover, and it's great. The seats are amazing. It feels like you're just being, like, cupped. Very comfortable.
And my gosh, so another funny thing was I guess Derek forgot to tell his parents that we rented a car and that Derek and I were driving separately.
Oh yeah, so there's a lot of confusion.
I like called Derek's dad saying, "Hey, we just got off the highway. I'm gonna be there soon." By the way, I don't know how where Derek is. I've lost him, and Derek's dad's like, "What?"
but then. The best part was that they lost connection at that point.
At that moment, because it's so rural here.
Yeah, so like the call dropped, and so Eliz is like, okay, I guess he hung up on me, and she kept going, and my dad's like, where's my son? And so he calls me and is like, I just talked to Eliz. She said she lost you? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm driving another car. He's like, oh, okay. He's like, I just want to make sure she didn't just like leave you at a truck stop. You know, it was like, it's pretty funny. But no, it was Range Rover, very nice, very schwanky. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but we had some stuff about Edinburgh.
Yes.
So Nick Barnett's was saying, went to Edinburgh, then a tour of the Highlands for a few days, including Loch Ness, of course, and went up to Aberdeen for a few days to meet some friends and lived there at the time. We've never been to Aberdeen. Is that further north than Inverness?
I went, but yes.
I've never been.
So it goes.
So never.
No, sorry, not further north. It's Edinburgh, then Perth, then Aberdeen, and then over to Inverness. I didn't really like stay there or anything. I absolutely could go back, but I did a tour of the Highlands when I studied abroad, and we started in Edinburgh, and then we did like the whole loop with all of those things. But
yeah. Inverness, though, I think is a great place. I think that the Walters, Mark and Jocelyn, were talking about how much they like Inverness, and we really enjoyed it too. The one thing that we were mentioning before was that it doesn't have quite the restaurant scene that we would be looking for a quarantine and whatnot, so we probably wouldn't stay there for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
I'd stay there for a week totally and kind of like do the Highlands
Or
around
like
there.
if we could leave our accommodation, we would maybe consider it.
Yeah.
Because you could probably like stumble on a few chippies or something like that, fish and chip shops or whatever. But there's just, it's very limited, and we wouldn't be able to go grocery shopping that well and stuff.
But it was beautiful. Like, we got there and there was like rainbows everywhere, and it was like just beautiful. It was great.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed it. And the one restaurant that we did go to, like the nice restaurant that we went to, was like really nice actually for dinner. On like kind of like that main drag, it was pretty nice. What I would say though is that we're likely, I think after quarantine, we would probably go to Isle of Skye and try to stay there for a few days.
Oh my gosh, yes. Although they're
awesome.
probably gonna. I heard that Skye really doesn't want visitors right now, so we need to look that up. But yes.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we do want to be conscientious about what we're doing. So.
And we don't want to receive
hate mail.
Prejudice. Yeah.
Or about hate mail.
Yeah, or hate mail.
But yeah, a lot of people are talking about Scotland and how they might not have been there yet, but they want to go to there. Bonnie, I'm so sorry that she was supposed to go to Edinburgh on September 8th for a week before heading to African Safari. Sorry to hear that.
I remember African Safari got
Nick Barnett was saying that he did not spend time in Glasgow, so that's part of my unfinished business in Scotland for next time. Glasgow's a great city. It's very vibrant. There's a really active art scene.
We both went for the first time together in August
2018.
September, something like that.
We flew into Glasgow but immediately left to do the Highlands piece, and then we ended it in Glasgow, which was great because it allowed us to fly in and out of the same airport, which saves money. And
so we stayed at an Ibis hotel in the center of Glasgow. And so I think it's probably like, a 3-star, pretty basic, but has great breakfast and stuff like that in the mornings. It had the quirkiest, most fun personality of all the hotels that we stayed at.
And the Ibis hotels do tend to have that.
Yeah, they do.
Quirk.
Even like the airport Ibis hotels. But this one was especially funny. I remember I even posted a photo from when we first checked in, and a lot of people loved it. And it was like all of the check-in instructions, but written out in like a Scottish accent, but phonetically. And so it was just really funny to read it all. Because you're like, what is that word? And you're like, oh, that's how it's pronounced here.
You had to speak it.
It was so cool though. It was just fun, and they like paid a lot of homage to the local art scene just within the hotel itself and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a cool spot, and what I would say about Glasgow is it's more of a going out scene. Like, it's more like party, like clubs and like bars and that kind of stuff. It's a industrial city is the history. It's very industrial forward. That's now kind of like hip and cool. It's a lot of fun.
And I love the name.
You go on benders.
The name of the like people that are from there is Glaswegians.
Like Norwegian?
Or Ouijies.
Ouijies.
I love it. And everyone was super friendly. And I'm actually connected with a lot of people on Instagram who live in Glasgow. I don't know how that kind of came about. It must be just from our travels there and stuff. And it's just fun to like, they're just so lighthearted. They want to have a good time.
Yeah. And, so Glasgow's a really cool spot. And because, like, actually my family history is, like, tied to Glasgow, I've got, I'm directly descended from people who were born in Glasgow or from the areas just south of Glasgow. So it'd be fun to go back and spend a little bit more time where we can actually get out of the city and check out those areas.
We don't usually do a hop-on, hop-off bus tour, but we did one there.
We did one there. It was nice.
And it was fun to see the whole city that way, because it is kind of spread out in certain aspects. And so we were able to kind of get our bearings, and I feel like when we do go there, we're going to be able to, like, understand, okay, well, one day is going to be this area, and then one day is going to be this area, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And the one thing that we didn't do right is like we didn't go to like the port area where they have like the little ship that you can go see and like all that kind of stuff.
We passed by it.
Yeah, we passed by it on the hop on hop off and stuff. And it's like we only have a few nights, but they have phenomenal restaurants. They've got good hotels.
Yeah.
It's a real city that's very vibrant.
We went to this amazing restaurant in the basement of a
that
hotel.
place was awesome.
I forget what it's called off the top of my head. Clearly, like, I feel like I'm always saying I forget what a restaurant's called. I always forget. But
no, this place was really good. We went there. It was a phenomenal restaurant, and what was interesting was I remember that day that meal actually because of an incident where the Glasgow has like two soccer football clubs, and they were playing each other. So it was like crosstown rivals. Like
we were
really
like, how
bad.
did we come during the crosstown rivalry soccer?
It was really
game?
funny. It was really funny because we were heading to the restaurant, and like everything's empty, nobody's anywhere. Like the streets were just like ghost town, and we get to the restaurant, and it's like, oh, because that's happening right now. So we get there, and we're like, oh, that's fun, that's exciting, and the not the maitre d' or like one of the guys there who's kind of like a maitre d', one of the staff was like basically very jaded about it, and he basically made a comment that was a little dark, and
he's like, every year there's always all this violence that happens on this day.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, until somebody beats their kid or something, and you're like, oh my god, like,
yeah,
that's really
like gets too drunk and does that where you're like,
Okay, we're gonna walk home now, and we feel
it's
very
like
bad.
we're gonna take a taxi now instead of a.
It was kind of nuts.
But you could
the
tell
restaurant
like,
was phenomenal.
When the game ended, all of a sudden there was like more people on the streets and just a little bit livelier of an environment.
Yeah, and actually somebody was making a comment about Ireland and Scotland having. I think it was Lori mentioned that both of those are haven't really risen to her. Yeah, actually, here. I don't know what I am missing, but Ireland and Scotland really have not hit my wish list yet. Ireland is one of those places...
Maybe you like nicer weather?
Yeah, nicer. Yeah, exactly. Ireland isn't really top of my list. I would say that the only thing about Ireland right now that might make me say, like, hey, let's not go straight to the UK and let's go to Ireland first, is that you can go to Ireland right now, do your 2-week quarantine, and then explore Ireland, and then go straight into the UK and not do any quarantine.
But you can't do that reverse.
But you can't reverse that. So if you go to the UK first, you still have to then do a 14-day quarantine in Ireland. So bang for your buck, go straight into Ireland, do your quarantine there, and then go explore the UK from there. There's a part of me that says let's do that, because like go do 2 weeks in quarantine and then 2 weeks in Ireland. That's enough time to do that. Go see Mo in Belfast, and then
that's Northern Ireland.
And
yes.
After time exploring Ireland, and then get out there.
Yeah, Derek is like super excited to hopefully see Mo. I don't think he's on tonight. I'm kind of bummed actually.
No, so the other thing though about that is that
maybe he's actually asleep finally.
Hopefully. Jeez, he's always up so late on this.
He's always up so late.
But we appreciate it.
We do.
And actually, I caught that Mo was saying that he had just gotten canvas recently to like pull out the brushes and actually do some painting. So excited to see that work.
Also, when we went to Best Buy today to get I don't know if it was today, but to get the like Wi-Fi things to help with this live stream. We are pulling into the parking lot, and Derek's like, Mo would want me to get a drone right now. And I was like...
I did say that. I was like...
It's like, Mo's not here.
Mo would support my drone purchasing habits right now.
Mo's also not here now, so we should probably stop talking about him. Otherwise.
Yeah. I'd buy a drone. My thing is right now I don't know what the rules are in the UK. I think they're a lot stricter in terms of like needing like a license for droning and stuff like that. So probably not worth it right now.
But yeah, especially if you have any recommendations for Edinburgh.
What up, brah?
please let us know. Even like restaurants, affordable restaurants, because we're hoping, fingers crossed, this one place is going to work out for us. Probably by next week's live stream, we'll be able to tell you guys where we're staying.
Yeah, so honestly, anything in Scotland or the north of England, please let us know, because as we then work our way south. So my guess on how it's going to work out is that we're going to start in Scotland, do the whole Scotland thing, head over and take the ferry into Northern Ireland, do like Belfast, hopefully see Mo, do all that stuff over maybe a week, head back over and start working our way south. So York, Bamberg, was it Bamberg? No. Something like that. Do like those castles over there and stuff. Okay.
Stirling? What?
No, Stirling's in Scotland. York, and up in that area, there's a place called like Bamberg Castle, which is a pretty cool castle, and is home of the what is it? It's
Somebody fact check Derek on this.
Something Cornwell. Bernard Cornwell has a series that's on
Thomas
Netflix.
Reiser's going to fact check you. I feel like
it's on Netflix. Thomas Reiser, you'll probably know this. On Netflix, there's a series called The Last Saxon or something. Saxon Kingdom. The Last Kingdom. That's what it's called. And it's a series that is from a book from Bernard Cornwell, which is historical fiction around the times of...
You do like him.
Edward the... Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
Awesome book. I've read all the books and still need to catch up on the series.
So, okay. Just
there's a castle.
Background to our moving, real quick.
Gallivanting Gals, hello.
Hi, Gallivanting Gals. And also I just want to say hi to Ronnie Dove, because I don't think we said hi before.
Oh, Ronnie.
He is on too, and I just want to make sure we say hi. And if we haven't said hi to somebody who joined, we're getting to you. I promise. We're just too chatty. We need to like stop talking to ourselves and start
bunch
talking
of
to these
chatty,
people. But anyway, so during our move, as I mentioned, I collect magazines. It takes literally my magazine collection only takes one row of my bookshelves, and I have 2 bookshelves here, so it's really not that big. Derek, on the other hand, he collects signed first edition books.
Yeah, which one has more value?
Right. My magazines have none. But when it comes to moving...
They both suck.
His books are weighing us down. But in the best way. So we have like a ton of boxes of books here now too. And it was such a headache to move, because it was like, all right, now we actually need all the things that we're going to use over the next few months, plus all of our collections.
Yeah, so Nick is saying, good to take a break from sugar. White refined sugar is so bad, even though it's in so many delicious things.
Really
I struggled to stay off it myself, though I never use it in coffee anymore, at least, which is nice. We're very much into adding some sort of like creamer is fine, but we try to stay away from the sugar.
I actually have never been a person that puts sugar in my coffee. So I had this conversation with your dad earlier this week. I got my 23andMe back, and we did like the health one too. I don't know if any of you guys did the health on top of like the genetics one, but it said that I likely cannot taste bitter, and that totally checked out for me. I was like, yeah, that makes sense, because I don't add sugar to my coffee. I can eat black licorice, like all good in the hood. That makes sense. So I said that to Derek's dad, and he's like, oh, that's why you like Starbucks.
Yeah, my dad's a bit of a snob he does not like Starbucks. He does not like their coffee. Because he just drinks like regular coffee. For him, he's like, the coffee's bad. He'd much rather have Dunkin'. That's how he is. Okay. What do we got going down? Yeah, so Nick has mentioned also, for vegetarians or those with special diets, definitely want to pre-order before you get on a flight if you want to ensure that they have what you want, which still doesn't necessarily guarantee it, but it does make it a lot more likely that you'll get what you want. Oh, Mary Ellen. Wait, this is it. So, Mary Ellen is saying it was great, especially for the crazy flight. 4 a.m. pickup at home, 7-hour layover in Dubai. It took 32 hours to get home from the hotel. So, that has to do with, I think, in India. So, Mary Ellen is saying, I flew business class on Emirates to India. The food and service were great.
I bet that was amazing.
Yeah, so I just
Emirates is great even for economy.
Yeah, so we flew economy on Emirates to Milan because it was like a stopover on the way to Dubai. So we were able to get a super cheap flight from New York to Milan.
And it was right when they like first opened that leg.
Super cheap. It was awesome.
Because before the only Emirates flights were New York straight to Dubai, and they like probably only a few months before opened New York to Milan, and so we jumped on that.
Yeah.
And I think we paid $620 per person in economy to fly Emirates to Italy. Awesome.
Especially at
like
the
literally
time,
it was like wood paneled seats and like leather.
It felt nice. I mean, at that point in our lives, we had never flown business class before, I don't think.
No.
And we had never flown anything other than economy. So for us, we're like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool. Nowadays...
Especially for the price.
Yeah, especially for the price. Because we're used to spending a little bit more than that on our flights to, like, England or whatever.
Yeah.
And we were going there for a wedding. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time.
Actually, our friends that live in London were getting married in Italy. That's why we went to, on that flight.
Yeah.
And those friends are very eager for us to go to the UK, which I'm excited to see them, hopefully.
Yep. So hopefully so they live in London. We have other friends who are just north of London that we'd love to see. Obviously, Northern Ireland is another place. We know people in Scotland and whatnot that we want to meet up with while we're up there as well. So we're just excited to get out there and see some friends. And,
I don't want to jinx it, but I'm so excited, you guys. It's like we haven't traveled. We went to the Mississippi River once for a few hours. I'm losing my mind. I'm sure you all relate.
Just to put it into perspective, I flew around the world 3.5 times in 2019. I have not flown, except for going to Vegas, like I think one time.
We went to Vegas and we went to Amsterdam in 2020.
Amsterdam, you're right. Shoot.
But that's not around the world.
It's not around the world.
Close.
Not even close. I need to fly more. Okay.
Thomas Rice says he has a second cousin in Alexandria, Louisiana, and she got hit big time.
Well, Thomas,
I don't know exactly where that is.
I hope she's okay.
Yeah, I hope she's okay. I hope her home's okay. We've been following this, and it's super scary.
It's scary.
And I feel like you keep hearing more all day about what's happened. So where we are is actually potentially going to get the weather, like remnants of the hurricane pretty soon. And I can only imagine what everybody else went through.
Yeah. It's a really... So we've had some, like, touches with hurricanes in New York City when we lived out there. Obviously, Hurricane Sandy really hit us pretty hard while we were out there.
But that's nothing compared to, like...
Exactly, but we've never had anything like what people in Louisiana and parts of Texas and whatnot have dealt with like those Gulf hurricanes that come through. So, our hearts are out to all those who are suffering during this time.
I hope, Eric, you're staying safe. I saw Baton Rouge kind of was on those outskirts of the hurricane as well. It's just yikes.
But in a lighter note, Tyler Hansen, I only put makeup on the parts of my face where my mask isn't covering it. Gotta do that eyeliner, bud.
Mask me, man. It's the worst.
Okay, so Michael Mon has gone off, so good night, bud.
Good night,
Thank you.
Michael.
And Nick P is saying, my trip has just surpassed 7,000 miles!
Holy cow.
I'm now at 7,006 and counting.
That's awesome.
Dang, that's more than I've flown this year. Feels like.
I don't know about that, but
yeah. Yeah. So Lori is saying, I'm a little worried about my son coming back from Hawaii.
Yeah.
He is in his late 20s, and high infection rate, and Hawaii is having outbreaks with the native population, so he hangs it.
Who
he hangs with, planning to come back this week. Lori, I hope your son is okay and he makes it back, smoothly. I will say that, what I've been reading...
I've gotten COVID tested before, and maybe he can do that too. As well, just to ease your worries.
Yeah, so, but what I have read is that there is an incubation period where, you kind of need to, from when you might have been exposed, you kind of need to, like, test it 5 days later to really be sure that the test tells you something of importance. Because even if it comes back negative before that 5-day period, you might still have it because maybe on day 5 it develops, and that's when it becomes noticeable on tests. So that's the whole reason why the UK is not, just giving a rubber stamp to this whole testing where if you arrive and you test negative, you're fine, because you could still develop the bug beyond that, and then it would show up. So,
and just to piggyback, that's kind of the philosophy that in the UK they're trying to implement. So it's not that you would get a rapid test and pass it if they opened that facility that we were talking about at Heathrow. You would get your first test upon landing, and basically, like, you would get a rapid answer, but then you would maybe still 4 or 5 days later have to get another test, and then you would be released from quarantine, which 4 or 5 days later isn't as bad as, like, 14 days later.
No, I would totally take that. Like, if you could take a test within 72 hours of your flight and then take another one upon landing or within a little bit thereof, or take 2 even once you land. So take one is immediately once you land and then another one like 4 days later. I would totally do that if it meant that you could, like, cut your quarantine short by like 10 days.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. But yeah, Nick P is saying that it's storming in the desert right now. So it's monsoon season in Arizona right now. So like Tucson and whatnot. I know we were actually talking to Eliz's uncle, and he was saying that Tucson gets like 90% of its rain during monsoon season. And so far this year, at that point, they'd only gotten 1 inch. Usually they get 6. So they were hoping that they get a lot more rain before it's over. So
drought situation,
Yeah, so hopefully it rains, but sorry. But yeah, hopefully it rains.
And actually be careful if it's raining.
Flash floods are a real thing in Arizona.
Yeah, and they just don't have drainage systems. So you're in Minneapolis area, which I'm sure is similar to, like, throughout the Midwest, where there's, like, actual drains and streets a lot of places that collect water, and in the desert they don't have that. They have washes, so you just have to be very careful. Like, if you're on highways, that's probably fine, but on other roads, just like, okay, backstory, where my family lives in Tucson, you have to drive through several washes in order to just get to their home from the main street within the subdivision that they live in. And I was in a sedan car, and it was during monsoon season, and I was like, whatever, I really need to get home. I'm going to, like, gun it through this, like, running water. Bad call.
Don't do it.
Don't do that. And
she flooded her motor.
No, actually that happened in a different situation. That wasn't me either. That was somebody who was driving me. There was, like, because it's a wash and not regular cement road, I had gravel completely flood the bottom of the sedan and, like, get all in the underbelly of the car. So we had to go get the car serviced the next day because it was just, like, completely filled with gravel and stuff like that, and, like, scratched the bottom of the car and that sort of thing. So, yeah, Midwesterners in Arizona,
be careful.
Heads up.
Well, it's not only that, it's also like hiking, right? So, like, if there's raining up in the mountains, it can really cause havoc on like that hiking, and it can make it really dangerous.
Don't even do it.
Yeah, during this season, I wouldn't do it. Horseback riding.
People die every year.
Yeah, people die every year. It's very dangerous. So just be careful, make sure you're informed, and know the risks before you do anything. That's very important. What I will say though is that Thomas Reiser says he doesn't do Netflix except for The Crown.
Oh man,
And that's kind of what I've been feeling lately. I don't do a lot of Netflix.
Okay. So I have a
comedy and
Netflix
The Crown.
recommendation for
The Crown.
anyone who has not watched this. I love watching Travels with My Father.
It's good, yeah.
If you're into British humor,
Jack
especially.
Whitehall.
So it's the British comedian Jack Whitehall, who's like roughly me and Derek's age, traveling with his dad,
who's
who's
way old.
Like late 70s.
Stodgy.
And just, I guess you would call him stodgy. He's very
Dry British
traditional
humor.
and extremely dry humor.
Pro-Brexit.
Yeah. And Jack's like anti-Brexit. But anyway, that's like not, because they're not really in the UK. And so the first season they go to Asia, the second season they go to Eastern Europe, and the third season they go to America.
Yeah.
It's super funny. So if anybody is like looking for a funny travel show to pass the time, look no further than Jack Whitehall Travels with My Father.
Whereas I'm more of a what's the Zac Efron one?
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, Derek loves this new Zac Efron travel
Down
show.
to Earth.
Yes.
Down to Earth.
Derek's like, I think Zach and I could be friends. And I'm like,
come on.
Aren't I supposed to be saying like, oh, Zac Efron's so dreamy? And Derek's like, oh, Zac Efron's so dreamy.
I don't say that. I'm just like, he's cool. He seems like a cool dude. He's like he's making like Tolkien references and stuff.
He was. Yeah.
I think it's like fun. I'm like, he's a nerd kind of. Just a beefy nerd. I don't know.
Derek was so into the Zac Efron show. There's one episode though that I really did like, and it was when they went to Sardinia in Italy.
Yeah, so they were going.
Right,
so they were
Zac
looking.
Efron's thing.
So all right, so the Zac Efron thing is all about traveling around the world and looking at different things around, whether it's sustainability or anti-aging or things of that nature that are kind of like interesting from my perspective. And so they went to Sardinia because it has one of the biggest densities of not octogenarians, like people who are like over 100, and they've done a
good night,
major.
Walt Disworld and Gallivant
Bye,
and
Mark,
Gals, if you're
Gallivant
still
Gals.
on. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. But they've done a major study down there in Sardinia about people who are over 100 years old, and so they went down there to talk to them about their diets and like what they're eating and how do they live their lives, and they're walking a lot and all this other stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was.
They were eating a lot of carbs and they were walking a lot.
They were eating a lot of pasta. I think it's probably the walking, if I had
Probably.
to guess.
What I thought was really funny
I don't
was,
think the pasta is what got them to 100, but
damn it, that's what I was hoping. No, because it was really funny because at one point Zac Efron sits down, he's eating, he's like, I haven't eaten carbs in like 6 months, and he eats it and he's like, that's so good.
I think he filmed it like right after he did Baywatch.
No, actually, no, he talked about that. He said that I take that back. It wasn't that he hadn't. It's that when he does a lot of diets that do low carb. He's like, when I was getting ready to film Baywatch, I did not eat carbs for 6 months because it was so restrictive. I would argue, I've seen Baywatch, the movie. I thought it was actually pretty funny. He looked good. I mean, he was like.
I didn't even see it. Derek watched it on a plane.
It was tight, But no. I mean,
But it sounds like it was a trade-off for his happiness. Sounds like he's happiest with carbs, especially in Italy.
So there was something about a magazine though that they wanted you to check out.
Oh, cool. Was it after?
It was like Euro Travels or something like that.
Oh, cool. I love magazines. I used to, when I worked on Nikon, work very closely with a FAR magazine. I used to do like a lot of print ads in a FAR, and it was so much fun.
Okay. I don't know where it is. But
We'll find
hey,
it.
Scorpio Sue says that Starbucks is delicious.
Nitro Cold Brew is super good.
Yeah, I do like Nitro Cold Brew.
Although I had a moment where I got... Okay, so quarantine. we're all in it, and I just have been making most of my coffee at home. I haven't been like going to Starbucks as much or Dunkin', like anything like that. And during our moving process, I went and got a cold brew one day. I can't even remember from where. It might have been Starbucks, might have been somewhere else. And I get home after having the cold brew, and my heart was like racing. It was as if I'd never had coffee before.
I'd like to think that is that she looked at me and her heart was
That's
racing,
it.
but it really was the cold brew.
Like, and it was one of those moments where like I couldn't even like I was like, and it just.
No, I get that sometimes, but we do a lot of times before we came here, we're doing a lot of French press and stuff like that, which is not weak coffee.
But I don't
still
drink that much.
Yeah.
Like I drink 1 cup of coffee a day, and if it's like a crazy day, I'll drink 2.
I drink like a pot.
The cold brew, Derek drinks way more than
Better
coffee
part
than I
of a part.
And
pot.
there's elements that like there's reasons behind that too. Like I just am more sensitive to acidic things than Derek is, so
My 23andMe says that I drink a lot of caffeine.
that's
Righto.
I forget, is that one of the thingies too?
Yeah,
I think it is. 23andMe
So
has so
you're
many
right.
interesting things. I should end up putting like a 23andMe link in here. I
but
feel
no,
like we
so
talk about it a lot.
but what I would say is that from the perspective of coffee, is that when we tend to drink it at home, there's a labor involved in actually like making more of it. So like you drink so much, then you're like, I'm not making more coffee. I'm done for the day. You go to the store and you're like, yeah.
But
take another one.
okay, so we're in a different home. So here they have like a 12 cup
That's great.
actual coffee maker.
Oh, that's so good.
Versus we had an individual like single serve coffee maker and a French press.
Made
at
so
our
much
home.
less coffee.
Yeah, and here it's like bulk.
Yeah, it's great.
So I feel like I'm just surrounded by coffee.
That's beside the.
guys.
So I find that I drink a lot less coffee when it's less easy to drink. So what am I saying there? So before we started doing our like take out no dairy and no like sugar and all that kind of stuff, we would have lactate free chocolate milk. Ooh.
From Fair
Life or something like that.
Yeah.
So good. Delicious. And what we would do is we'd add that to the coffee. It's like a mocha almost. And it made it so easy to drink. I drink a pot by myself just with this like chocolate milk, and it was delicious.
And I had to be very careful because I was like, all right, I'm going to have one.
Yeah.
One. All right, because it would go down so quick with chocolate milk in your coffee. It's just...
No, it's so good. And it's so easy to drink. So like that was the thing, is like I found myself like making, like I would have my portion of a pot and then like make another one, and I'd have that too, and I was like going crazy. And then when we cut off everything, I was like, oh, it's a lot easier not to drink so much caffeine because like it's not as like delicious to drink when it doesn't have chocolate milk in it. So there you go.
There you go. So Sue says, Scorpio Sue says, you need to fill your Instagram wherever you go. So if you guys don't follow us on Instagram, that's where the majority of our updates go to.
Yeah.
So those who follow me, I posted in my story yesterday that we had booked our UK trip and stuff like that. We try to focus a little bit more on Instagram than Facebook. I do post on Facebook, just not as much. So would love to connect with you guys wherever you want. We're also on Twitter and Pinterest and stuff like that. Both of us.
Facebook. The book
Mr.
face.
Means to Travel and Means to Travel. On all of those. I used to be on TikTok, and I'm taking a little break until they figure out what they're doing here in the US. But probably not talking to any TikTok users, I'm imagining here. So flush that aside. So Instagram is kind of like our first place that we typically announce things on.
That's where I do most things.
Yeah. And so with that, my stories kind of give you those like real-time updates. The Instagram photos, we definitely are going to be posting a lot more.
In stories, I mean, we do a lot of stories on Instagram. It's
kind of
actually
like our like real-time vlogs is on Instagram stories.
And I find it actually really helpful from a, going back and remembering something perspective, because, on Instagram you can, do all these stories, you can save them to like tiles and stuff. So like we create those tiles for like the different locations that we go to. So we'll say like Edinburgh 2018, and I can go back to that and be like, oh man, what's that restaurant that we ate at? And I can like find it, like, oh, that's the one that we went to. And like for me, that's very valuable. It's valuable to have that information.
And we have several like Scotland highlights in Instagram that on both of our Instagram feeds.
If you want to go see like what did I do in Singapore or Tokyo or London or whatever, like you can go find all that stuff on my Instagram, which is, I think, for me, going back and like looking at it in hindsight, I'm like, where did I go to? What did I try? What did I eat? Because it's all about eating, really, for me. So it's like, where did I go and I eat, and like, what did I love? It's awesome. So highly recommend that.
But yeah, so if we're not connected on Instagram, I'd love to connect with you guys. Send me a DM if you add me or Derek, and we'll chat back.
But what I was about to say was that even if you're not like...
And by I know it's probably too late.
Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you for joining us.
Fall off. Yeah.
But all I was going to say was that even if you're not like always about sharing like Instagram and all that kind of stuff, but using it as a tool, as a way to like track what you've done, I think, because it has a geolocation feature, so you can like tag different locations and businesses and things like that. It gives you a way to kind of like track what you've done. It's almost like a diary. So for me, I find it to be a very useful tool for your travel. And keeping track of it. A lot of people talk about like using like notebooks and stuff like that.
It's also a good tool for researching, like not just tracking your own travel, but like because everything's geotagged. Not everything, but a lot of things are geotagged on Instagram. You can kind of use it if you know what you're doing to figure out like where what foods look good in certain places and that sort of thing.
So like what I would say is I use it a lot for, I like photography, right? So for me it's about, where do I want to go take pictures? Like what has a great view of the city? What has a great skyline? What has, whatever. Sunsets. Where are the sunsets really nice? Where's the sunrise really nice? Because you never know until you like get there and you feel it out. But Instagram can help you find those things. Food, from a food perspective, I want food that looks good as well as tastes good. Like that. That's just me. I want it to look nice and taste nice. Yeah. So Instagram can be really helpful, especially if you find a place, you find a restaurant that's like highly rated and reviewed. It's like, what do people get? What do they like? What do they enjoy? And you can like look it up and like find a good way. Oh, this is from like 3 days ago and it looks awesome.
There's a food. There's a guy that I met last November in London who has an Instagram account that is all about London food. And so if any of you guys are ever planning on going to London anytime in the next few years, 90 foodie on Instagram. He has so much incredible food photography, and I just really like following his Instagram stories too. So it just helps me like understand a little bit more about like where to go. Especially he does a lot of like dairy-free and vegan options. He's from China, as is another Instagrammer that connected us. So it's just cool that way to be able to connect with those people and have them give you, like if it's a local, have them give you those recommendations.
I mean, multiple times I've gone back to my stories, and when people have said like, hey, like what do you recommend in Edinburgh? Yeah. I'm like, oh god, what was that?
What did we do?
And I'll like go back to that tag on Instagram and I'll like go through my stories until I find that one restaurant that I'm talking about. I'm like, oh, you gotta go to number 1. Awesome place. Yeah. Right.
That's in the Balmoral Hotel, right?
Balmoral Hotel, which is like this like bell tower looking thing.
Okay, it was delicious. Like a Michelin star restaurant and priced to be a Michelin star restaurant. Let's be honest, it was very expensive.
It was
but
expensive, yeah.
the experience was so much fun and so good.
But the funny,
Yum.
it was really, really good. But the funniest part of that whole thing was like, we had booked our reservation. We're going in. We're like, okay, I'm gonna wear a blazer. I'm gonna look very respectable.
And I was like, I'm gonna wear a dress, but it's gonna be one that is a little bit loose, so I can eat.
But we got there, and it was really funny. And then like, right across from us is like, doing a graphic tee.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was like
totally
chill.
And I was like, oh man, like I could have been like way more comfortable than I am, you know. But it was very much that like interesting dichotomy of like people in like very different like modes of dress. Some people were very traditional, full suits. Other people were blazers. Some people were like graphic tees, and it was pretty cool. So.
By the way, Sue agrees that Jack Whitehall and his dad are hilarious.
Very good. But Scorpio Sue is also saying that Somebody Feed Phil is always on my list, along with the Great British Baking
I never got into
Show.
the Great British Baking Show, but
So
people love it.
Yeah.
People love it.
And Lori is saying that Euro Trotter and The Honest Guide are my two faves.
I think those are YouTube
YouTubers?
channels, yeah.
Yep. All right, so Bonnie is saying I've been doing the homebound wine tour Pinot on the patio. It's hard to say.
Bordeaux in the bedroom, Dulcet in the dining room,
Kerr in the kitchen, Leib Frau Munich in the living room. I don't know what that is, but that sounds awesome. I'm really into this like wine tour.
This wine tour details, and we can maybe partake.
Lori,
although where we are right now, okay, so you can get wine at Kroger and
you get wine in a lot of places.
liquor
Whitey's.
stores.
There's a place called Whitey's.
But we're definitely not in
wine country.
Oh, yeah.
There's a vineyard. There's a winery.
That is a fact. There is one of those.
I don't want to go.
To
see what it's like.
Probably gonna be sweet wine.
Probably. But on
hi
the other
Alberto,
hand,
by the way, thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry if I'm like super late in saying hello.
I think we are.
Probably. We're pretty behind.
But what I was gonna say before that, but thank you, Alberto Jimenez Avila, is
Oh, Thomas Reiser can't do his like a 23andMe or an Ancestry. That's a bummer.
Oh, sorry, bud.
I didn't realize you even could have that as a difficulty. So I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because I'm sure you would have been like into it.
Lori is saying first coffee of the week after being on antibiotics for 2 weeks and is killing my stomach. Yeah, I would imagine that would be tough.
Wait, are we not supposed to drink coffee on antibiotics? I know you aren't supposed to drink alcohol. I might have messed up.
I just drank.
I might have messed up big time if that's a thing that you're not supposed to do on antibiotics. Speaking of antibiotics, so I just found from when we went to China, and it's not expired yet, because we went to China in 2019. And it's really not been that long since 2019, even though we all...
It feels like a long time ago.
Forever ago.
Oh my god, I was looking at a listicle of like things that happened in 2020. And it's like Shakira and J-Lo. I'm pouring you.
Oh, I thought you just were like taking it.
Stealing her wine.
Yeah, Shakira and J-Lo happened.
Like that happened in 2020. It's like, wow.
Anyway, so my antibiotics have not expired yet from when we got them before we went to China, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I should probably like take them just in case we happen to need something like that when we're abroad, even though I've never needed it in Europe. But
you never know when it's going to happen.
But it's important, like, if you're going somewhere that maybe has like water that you can't drink from the tap or something like that, it might just be nice to have some sort of prescription in advance.
So we did that before we went to Argentina, South America as well for our honeymoon.
And I did that before I studied abroad, even in England.
Yeah. No, it's important to have that kind of stuff where it's like, if you have like minor like stomach issues, it's not worth doing because it could actually make it worse. But if you have like major food poisoning, like really bad, getting sick, it can like help knock it out of your system.
Yeah.
But yeah. What I will say is Lori Sims says, my Google is sending me pictures of what I did last year from my trip. It's just a teaser for the year's missed trips. So, sorry, Lori.
I know.
That's rough.
Those time lapses are just killers, aren't they?
All right, so wait a second. Eric B is saying,
Thomas Reiser, it's okay if you don't use Instagram. Just bear with me because I'm not always on Facebook. Like, I'm always on Instagram.
Yeah.
And same, Derek has more followers on Instagram than me. I'm just trying to get over it, but it's not going to happen.
oh, you've been sore about that for a while.
He has better photos on there. It's okay.
I do need to get back to Instagram. But what I was going to say was that Eric B is saying that he only had a little bit of wind, but thank God nothing major.
Oh, good. In Baton Rouge.
In Baton Rouge. So,
very happy
Eric, we're really happy to hear that you're
But
doing
a little bit
okay.
of wind, I bet you mean like, oh, it was really strong compared to normal.
Yeah.
But
we're happy to hear that you're doing okay, Eric, and hopefully all your family's doing okay as well during this time. So
yeah.
all that.
Eric's also just want to give him a quick shout out because he's been releasing a ton of like travel videos lately.
And he's a bowler.
Yeah, but on his on his YouTube channel, he has a bunch of videos that I've been enjoying seeing. So if anybody has not checked out his YouTube channel, definitely do it.
Yeah. And Vega Bonnie is saying that she loves our Instagram story highlights and inspired her to create some of her own.
Thanks, Bonnie.
That's really cool.
I really love seeing
really
yours too.
I really enjoy it because it's like it's fun to like go through and pick like the ones that you think tell a little bit of a story and like are meaningful. Because like when we go to like Scotland, for instance, like we did our like Scotland like tour and all that kind of stuff and drove around and did a road trip. We had so many that you had to like click off, like you had to like delete certain stories because you had too many, and it was so much fun.
I had to do like I've been taking several just daily life photos and videos since we've been in Indiana, and I don't know if you guys are even interested in them. I've posted maybe one or two so far, but I could start posting more too because I feel like there's a funny license plate that we saw today. There's just like
Hummer Bros.
We saw
Hummer
okay.
Bros.
So when we were driving to Best Buy today, we saw a house, like literally, one of those, what are they, like prefabbed homes on a truck driving down the highway, and we ended up having
it was like a 14-foot wide.
We had
home.
to follow a house down the highway. Maybe I'll post that tomorrow for you guys.
Which happens, but it's like when it happens, you're like, I'm not going around them.
Right. You're like, I'm just gonna follow them, and we're just gonna go slow now.
I just didn't trust myself. I'm like, if I get too close to the edge, I'm gonna hit that house, and that's embarrassing. That's really not good. But yeah.
Oh, actually, sorry, I want to respond. Mary Ellen says before India, she needed to take medications just in case, and that's super important. Even
With
if you're
her.
going, yeah.
Okay.
Even if you're going like somewhere where there's a possibility of like malaria or whatever, just making sure you understand which medications to take in advance or take with you if you potentially need it are super important. So I mean, it's been a really, really long time, but like my great-grandfather actually died of malaria. So like, if we ever go anywhere where malaria is an issue, like we will take the pills. He died of like complications of malaria. So
that was a long time ago.
long time ago, but still, it's like
yes,
and especially because like mosquitoes love me.
They do.
And Derek was
I
like,
love traveling with her because
Yeah.
I'm like, they're gonna eat her and
right.
not me.
And so there was like a moment where you were without me. Where were you? You were like with your.
I was helping my dad.
Oh yeah, you were helping your dad out in the backyard, And he came back inside, and this is like right when we first got here. He came back inside. He's like, "My legs are covered in mosquito bites. This is what it's like to not be with you outside." I'm like, "That's my life. That's what happens to me."
She is my like slower friend when you're running away from the bear. It's like, get her, mosquitoes.
Oh,
Take
they'll
her.
get me. They will get me
Get her.
for sure.
Ronnie Dove, thank you for joining us. If we hadn't said so already, thank you.
Bye, Ronnie.
We really appreciate
If
it.
you're still on, thanks for joining.
All right, so Scorpio Sue is saying, I follow a lot of people on Instagram that live in the city I want to go to, like Girl in Florence.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
Girl
girls
in Zug. I don't know what that means.
Rome
Rome-wise,
yeah.
etc. Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, like, I love following people who are in places I want to go to, whether it's Toronto, Florence, Rome, etc. Like, when I go there, I want to make sure I'm making the most of my time.
Yeah.
That to me is the most important. Because typically we go to a place and we have 2 or 3 days, typically, in a place to like really explore it, see it, and like get all the like shots that we want to get, or video from her perspective.
Yeah.
So
And you can
we
find
want to make
really
the most
good
use out of it.
local tips.
Yeah.
By following those people, I think that's really great that you do that.
Yeah.
I mean, even within my own, like we lived in Chicago, and we still followed things like, there's an account on Instagram called the Chicago Good Life.
Yeah, you still following. So
I'm connected. Like she grew up in my hometown. We didn't know each other as much growing up. She's a few years older than me, but like, you know, I definitely love all of her posts. And she ended up posting about this one rooftop bar that opened pretty close to me and Derek. And I was like, "Hey, Derek, there's a new rooftop bar within a mile from us." And we ended up going there like right before we moved from Chicago. You guys probably saw it on our Instagram stories if you follow us. So it's just really fun to be able to get those like insider tips.
it's the
if
Hyatt
you will.
Place. Who knew?
Yeah,
It's
at a
beautiful.
Hyatt Place
It's
hotel.
gorgeous. Yeah.
And they were so good about COVID stuff. That was like one thing that I was trying to not be too vocal about in my Instagram stories, but I was like, "You guys are doing so well. Everybody has to wear masks." Like they sat us at the
Social
bar.
distancing.
They
yeah.
sat us at the bar at social distance places, and they had like
the shields between you and the bartender.
Yeah.
It was great. No, it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Lori Sim
it's a lot
says
of fun.
mosquitoes love her too. She gets me. Yeah, at dusk and dawn it's awful. I always have to be like, so we're outside and it's a patio and there's grass over there and it's, you know, sunset. Do you guys have any bug spray? Because I'm here to party, but I need some bug spray.
Yeah. So Thomas Reiser is saying, speaking of places to check out in the States, check out Jungle Gyms in Fairfield, Ohio. OMG.
Yes.
That's what he posted today, right?
Yeah, and I commented on his Instagram or Facebook post or something like that. We definitely have to go because it's like Jungle Gym's World Market, I think. And so they have all these imported goods, foods.
We'll go check it out.
Yeah, I thought it sounded really cool.
So here's the whole thing. Like, right before we leave is when our, like, no gluten and all this other stuff happens. I'm thinking we ended it half a week early and we'd, like, go do some of these. Because there's a couple places, especially there's one place I really want to go to that we found recently that's like a German beer hall type place. It's like outdoors. It looks like it'd be like pretty easy to socially distance in, and it looks really really good. And I want to go there.
One Cincinnati, like in Cincinnati,
It's like a German
it's like a
town
German beer garden, and we were like, wait, so we can't go there right now?
Well, because we're like
That
not doing
sucks.
gluten or like.
It looked so fun.
I found a place that does like xiaolongbao, so like soup
vegan.
dumplings. I'm like, oh, we could like quit half a week early and like go hit up all those places, but
Yeah.
because then we're gonna go into like quarantine in the UK, which means that we're only gonna be able to eat either what gets delivered or what we cook.
Oh, Jim Brent's been in jungle gyms. I wonder, are there more than one, or is it just like one in Cincinnati? Because I've never heard of it before, and then I saw it on Thomas's posts, and it was new news.
Yeah, so Mary Ellen is saying the hospital here has a travel department that specializes in travel to various countries and the risks. We had to get shots and prescriptions to take with us.
That makes sense.
When we
And
went
I
to
believe
China,
she said she's in Connecticut.
yeah, when we went to China last year,
Yep.
in April, I had to get like a crazy amount of shots.
Yeah. Well, you and I were like behind or something in our shot boosters and stuff.
I got like a 10. Whatever I got,
He got 5 shots in one.
They had to bring in another person to give me more shots.
Yeah.
Because they said they weren't legally allowed to have one person give me that number of shots. Which had me being like, should I be getting this number of shots? I was like, I'm confused. Because it's like they had to start in this arm, they had to go to this arm, and then they had to like go to the leg. They were like...
So for me...
I was getting a lot.
Yeah, so I got 4. And the 5th was... What is the one that starts with T?
Tetanus?
I don't know. I had to take it as a pill instead of get it as a shot because
It might have been tuberculosis.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Or TB.
So I took it as a pill for like several days instead. And I think you have to do that for a lot of different like countries. It's not just China. You don't have to take a pill. You can get a shot. I just opted for the pill version.
Yeah.
And then I got my blood work done the same day, and I think that's why I opted for the pill version. And they told me that I was also like needing a booster for the mumps, measles, rubella shot.
Yeah,
And so then I had to go, so just almost spilled some water. And then I had to go back for another shot after that. So definitely don't do it last minute if you're going somewhere remote or, you know, to a country that you might need a lot of that kind of stuff.
Well, that was my whole thing. I was like, you know what?
But Europe is usually like you don't need that much.
Yeah, Europe, you know, if you're going to Africa, if you're going to Asia, you might need some. And my whole thing was like, just give me all the shots. Like they even said, they're like, well, we can take a blood test to see if you need X, Y, Z. And I'm like, my whole thing was, I said, if you got to stick me anyways, just stick me. Yeah. Like, just give it to me.
And Ruth Armstrong, I'm sorry if you're still on, but I'm about to call both of our mothers out. But it was one of those things where we were like, hey, moms, did we get these shots as children? And both of them were like, we don't know. So we had to get like tested and stuff.
I feel like my mom sent me what I need.
Actually, your mom did.
But, yeah.
Your mom had some good stuff. Your mom had some good records.
But yeah, no, it really comes down to like just making sure you're being safe, like from wherever you're going, like whether it's looking into like what neighborhoods are safe, what do you need from like a vaccination perspective, you know, are there things you need to be aware of from a political standpoint, like just make sure that you're doing
we use
due
like
diligence.
The CDC website, and then we use
the State Department
yeah. to really understand what we're potentially getting ourselves into. You don't want to take it too, like, there's certain countries like Jamaica, for example, that you can be very safe and do that very safely, but then there's parts of Jamaica that aren't as great. And there's tons and tons of countries out there that have huge warnings against traveling to the U.S., for example. So you kind of have to understand how to navigate that.
You have to take anything that the State Department says, you have to take with a grain of salt, because like they'll say that like France is dangerous to go to, and it's like, is it? You know, you have to like kind of.
Well, you have to navigate it. So like, I mean, stay in places that you read the reviews and figure out how to be safe.
Yes. I think a lot of it comes down to common sense and using a common sense approach to travel. You know, was I stupid in college in some of the ways that I traveled? Yes, I shouldn't have done that. And nowadays we wouldn't, you know, go get blackout drunk on a pub crawl in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
But, you know, it happens. you have to like use common sense and like figure it out. So just be
So
careful.
Thomas says there's 2 of the jungle gyms.
Jungle gym.
One is east of Cincinnati and the other is north.
We should go north. It's the original.
Yeah. We're
That's
west.
closer.
We're pretty far west of Cincinnati right now. So like that's another thing is going from like literally like the city of Chicago to where we are now. It's beautiful here, but it's far from everything. So like every time we've needed to go out and get something, we're like, okay, we're going to Walmart. It's 20 minutes away. Does anybody need anything? Like, we don't like think about your needs. What do we got? Yeah. So it's just it's a different way of life. We've had a big transition.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's my whole thing is like, from my perspective, it's like, if it's not gonna hurt me, give me more shots, give me more whatever. But there is.
Oh, you're back to the.
I'm back to the shots.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't like needles, but whatever. Take them.
My mom says I lost the folder with all the shots.
Mary Ellen is saying, and in Jamaica, don't wear
I maybe
camo.
did. I'm sorry, Mom.
Scorpio Sue, good night. Thank you for joining us. But Mary Ellen is saying, in Jamaica, don't wear camo clothing. It's like because they think you might be a guerrilla fighter, or I don't know why you wouldn't wear camo. Other than I wouldn't wear camo in most places personally, but yeah, don't do that. I do want to go to Jamaica though. I've heard great things about Jamaica, Jamaican food, like the chicken and all that kind of stuff. So I would like to go.
Says she had tetanus, typhoid, in terms of shots, and something else that we wouldn't have gotten growing up. We were like just too old to get chickenpox shots, and I'm a little bit bummed about that. I wish that I'd been able to get the chickenpox vaccine.
So Bonnie is saying, my last round of shots for India and Africa, they gave me the wrong vaccine. So annoying. Not only did I get a shot that I didn't need, I had to go back and get the one that they were supposed to give me.
No, that is annoying.
It's like double shots.
What if you had to leave right away too? I mean,
that's the other thing, and this is the reason why looking at vaccines is really important, because occasionally you need like 2 rounds of something to really make you immune to it.
Yeah. Actually, my hepatitis A thing, I think I needed like 3 or something.
Yeah, there's like a hepatitis shot where you need to get your initial shot and you need like 2 more after that. So you need to like know like 6 months in advance or like 3 months in advance you're going to a place, and that's really important. So I've always like I'm a procrastinator about these kind of things. So always like I'm like, what do I need? And they're like, this will get you like 70% of the way there. I'm like, give it to me.
Nick P has the same blood type as you. He says sometimes mosquitoes like people with certain blood types more. I'm B negative, and they seem to love me. And only 2% of the population, I think, was B negative. We looked this up when we found out your blood type. Nick P and Derek, you guys are blood brothers.
Different connotation than when I was growing up.
I don't know what that. Yeah. I actually don't know my blood type. But it's the one that mosquitoes like, whatever that is.
Yeah,
and mosquitoes like my blood type more than B negative, let me tell you.
So Lori and Thomas are actually talking about, Thomas is saying that he looks at several countries equivalent to the State Department to see what they have to say about, traveling to different countries. And Lori is agreeing with him. And I think that's actually really smart because, I think that different places could have maybe more of a... Hey, Blaine, how you doing? Hey, buddy. So I do think that, certain countries might have more of a reactive, knee-jerk reaction to certain things going on in different places. And so it's important to get kind of a balanced view of what's going on in those places that you look to go to, to see what they say. Because, at any given time you might say, like, France is dangerous to go to. Okay, well, like, how dangerous and what location and
even
where
like
you're going to.
where we live in Chicago is very, very safe. We live by a lot of different hotels, so there's tourists in our neighborhood a lot. And there's other parts of Chicago that maybe aren't. So you have to do that research and figure out the best way to navigate a city.
Because it all comes down to, like, at the end of the day, you need to be comfortable. You need to understand what you're getting into and go into it with your eyes wide open. Because I think that it's really important that when you go to a new place, whether it's safety, whether it's, you know, being just conscientious about how you explore a city and never being culturally sensitive and all those kind of things, I think that's very important when you visit a city. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to be the, like, there's a little bit of a ugly American kind of, you know, caricature when it comes to traveling, and nobody wants to be that person. And you want to, like, everybody wants to blend in. They want to do different things, and it's all about enjoying your experience.
Bonnie, I didn't know that. So she says mosquitoes like dark colors, and I wear black and navy a lot. Could be one of the problems for me.
Huh? I did not know that.
Interesting. I guess I wear black and navy a lot, but, like, I'm wearing black pants right now.
Must be why your legs get bent.
I don't know. I feel like they just love me. That's another thing that I found out in 23andMe, actually, is that I have a very high propensity for mosquito bites. Shocking. Didn't know that before.
I think the State Department is lawyered up. Yes, Thomas.
Could be. Yeah, my mom's A negative. We just need to figure out. I'll need to get my blood work done at some point, and I think you have to, like, specially ask here in the U.S. for them to tell you what your blood type is. So I'll have to ask soon.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than an ignorant traveler. What was the one from when you said abroad? It was like, it lay.
Oh, that was a joke.
Oh, that was a joke?
Yeah.
I thought somebody actually heard an American
No.
person say that. Oh, okay.
That was a joke.
Never mind.
Okay, but for everybody, when I studied abroad, my friends and I, we were like, joking about being the, like, crazy Americans, and we're like talking about Italy, and we're like, Italy? I hear it's shaped like a boot.
I thought they had actually overheard somebody say that, so this whole time I thought that there was somebody out there who's like, Italy?
No.
I hear it's shaped like a boot.
No, it was a joke. Sorry.
And it really is shaped like a boot.
But now every time we talk about Italy, you can't get it out of your head, can you?
Nope. Italy. And Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Best football team.
Yeah. Well, you're from Indiana, too, so
I'm from Indiana.
It's extra strong for you.
My grandparents had a giant poster of Newt Rockne on the wall. It's like a fabled football coach at Notre Dame. So.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark! It's a boot kicking.
Mark, how's
soccer
Brig?
ball.
Hopefully, you guys' walk went well. Yeah, it's a boot kicking a soccer ball, and that's Sardinia.
Okay, so there's been big soccer news, big football news.
Oh yeah,
in Europe,
in this house apparently.
Messi's in play. Messi has asked Barcelona to cancel his contract because he wants to go to Man City. So my dad is a huge Barca Messi fan, and he plans to be a fan of Man City if that's where Messi goes.
So, yes. Also.
Yes, Mark. Messi to Man City.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I asked his dad yesterday. I was like, "So are you gonna switch allegiances? Because I mean, this house is a Barca house."
Yes. Yes, it is.
And he was like, "Well, Man City's my favorite of all the English teams," and I was like, "Okay, so you're switching."
But as he says, he's like, "But I'm still gonna be a Barca fan, like as well."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's a Messi fan. And, but yeah, so that'll be fun.
Happy belated National Dog Day to Brig, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so
she got super excited.
So PG says hi to everybody.
Lexi.
But so there is a dog in this house. She is social, but she's not like a lap dog. And so I think Derek's gonna go get her. she's not going to be like great on camera. I'm just going to warn you guys, but she's unbelievably cute. And, yeah. I think you guys are going to like her. She's not PG. We'll see. But thank you all for supporting Lexi. I can hear her, like, you guys probably can't. I can literally hear her, like, running from Derek because Derek's going to go pick her up and bring her downstairs to be here. And, yeah, we're going to see how that goes. Brig says bark, bark. Yep, Lexi, I'm sure, says bark, bark. Hi, Brig. And, yeah, Eric says, I saw Messi was leaving Barcelona. So, is it official? Is he officially leaving? I think he's, like, trying to get out of his contract. But I haven't been following that closely. But Derek's dad is, like, the biggest Messi fan of all time. And so we brought our, like, giant TV to be down in the basement with us here. And Derek's dad's, like, on cloud 9 and, like, watching all the football games down here and stuff like that. And Bonnie says, I think Japan is like a seahorse. Oh, like in shape. I could kind of see that, actually. Yeah, PG is the man, Eric. PG's, we're missing him, that's for sure. Oh, here she is. So, everybody has to meet Lexi. She's the best. She's so cute. Hi, guys!
Oh, yeah. Okay, you got me.
Okay, so Lexi is very motivated by food.
She's tired.
She's also very tired. She goes to bed usually at like 9:30, so this is very late for her.
Oh, God. Oh.
Mark says, fun fact, I grew up in the belly button of Illinois. That's really funny.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Sturdy pooch. So, we have no idea what breed Lexi is.
Oh, God.
Ew.
Oh,
we think she's like
you.
a part Jack Russell.
Oh, goodness gracious.
She has a very active tail wag.
You might be able to hear it.
How old? Lexi's like 8 now, I think.
Oh.
So she's also, like, I wouldn't call, so PG was an actual rescue. He, like, got picked up at animal control, and Megan then adopted him from animal control. Lexi is, like, they're the 5th owners of Lexi, but, like, they're aware that there's been many owners of Lexi. But they've had her now for years and years. So
Stop sneezing in my face.
she, yeah.
Lick her face.
She's not a big camera dog. But she's very sweet. Hi.
Okay.
Look. Do you want to show them your teeth? You want to smile? Look at your smile. Okay, she has this terrifying smile. Okay, hold on. Can you spin her around and I'll go over here and then we can do a little smile.
My thing doesn't spin.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey Lex.
Oh.
Lexi. Hi. Can you smile? Can you smile? Who's over there? Who's that? What's? She's like, she's literally like, what? Where am I? So she loves Derek. And that's about it.
I think she wants to go upstairs. Alright, guys.
Yeah.
Alright, she just went away. So that was fun.
So that's Lexi. And
She's upstairs
Eliz, better
now.
watch out. Lexi's stepping on your man. She looked happy at least. Yeah, she loves giving Derek kisses. Yeah, I guess she's moving in on my man. But
It's gross.
that's right, it's gross. But yeah, so ew, gross. You're gross. So we have a dog here. She's just different.
She's awesome.
She's awesome. She loves watching both of us cook.
Nick P says the parking meter in Flagstaff is covered due to COVID-19. Score free parking downtown.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So they're just like, we don't need your money anymore. We'd rather just not have your germs. I love that.
Mark, stop that lovey-dovey stuff. I love it.
Oh yeah, you did meet Lexi once before. That's totally right. I completely forgot Mary Ellen. So when we
Oh,
were
yeah.
here before, Lexi was here, and I
Forgot
think
about that.
because your parents were in the room at that time, she was like way more chill.
Well, no, it was also I think earlier when we brought her on, and they were acting as like our stage hands. They were like handing us props.
Your dad was so into it. I loved it.
It was really cute. It was
We should
really
bring
fun.
him back at some point.
Yeah. But Nick, that's really
Flagstaff
cool.
is
That,
great,
you know,
though.
Flagstaff's great. I remember going there when I was a kid, and it was like one of these things where I felt like, wow, she shedded like crazy on me.
Yeah, I think she. Whoa! Let's
she must have been
not
freaking
get it
out.
on the carpet.
So I remember we were driving up to Flagstaff, and we got hit by like a blizzard one year in Christmas. So
Yeah, you're
think
gonna
that
have to
means-
lint roll those pants. It's okay.
I think that means she was stressed. She must have been
Probably
just
was
tired.
stressed.
So
She probably was like, "Where am I?"
sorry, Lexi.
The dogs don't love the lights. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot to deal with. I'm shedding too.
I'm shedding too. Thanks. That's actually really funny. Okay.
Yeah, so Nick is asking, I was wondering what the washes were. Thanks, Eliz.
Yeah,
so
no
did
problem,
you explain
Nick.
what those are?
Yeah, we were
Just like
talking
the-
about it earlier with like the flooding and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just something to be
It's
careful
like a
about.
natural drainage system.
Yeah.
But you just during monsoon season have to be incredibly
But
cautious with
what I
them.
will say is that Nick P, make sure while you're in Arizona, get a lot of good like Mexican food, awesome Mexican food, please, and especially like Sonoran hot dogs and like.
Yeah, I don't know about Flagstaff. I'm sure it gets as north as Flagstaff, but I just don't have any recommendations for Mexican food there. I've been there, just I can't remember what we ate. Mark says it's past my bedtime. I might shit on you too. Yeah. Lexi is old enough that she's like super into routines.
Mm-hmm.
And this is late for her.
She's cute because she gets to the point where like because my parents had an older dog as well than her, so she got used to like doing what she
Yeah.
did. So I feel like she's like a few years ahead of like where she needs to be from that standpoint. But she'll like try to like jump on things, and she'll like put her feet up, and she'll just like look at you, kind of like make a jumping motion as though she's trying to get up, so you like lift her up.
Yeah.
And it's really adorable. Same thing with like when she wants to go to bed, she'll like go towards my parents' room to like kind of look at you. Keep
One
like
thing
kind of.
that I really like, okay, going back to traveling, because we're definitely prepping for going to the UK. I like looking at people interact with dogs in the UK. I feel like there's so many people that own dogs there, and the breeds are often kind of different than they are here. Like here you see just a lot of like golden retrievers and labradoodles and stuff like that, and there you see just a little bit different types of breeds. And so it's just fun to see how people have dogs there.
So Mark is saying Brig got into the COVID walk routine. So if I don't walk him twice a day for at least 30 to 45 minutes each walk, he is like a puppy, staring at me like, "Don't you still love me?"
Oh, Brig!
That's amazing.
That is so sweet. But I'm sure, like, you're probably saying, "Hey, I have work now."
But real quick, Eric B is saying Vegas tomorrow and Zion on Saturday. He's so excited. That's really cool.
Nice. Wait, so is your flight tomorrow?
That's
or are you
amazing.
already there? Yeah, wait. I didn't realize it was this soon because I knew you were going to Vegas and Zion.
But no, that's amazing. Like, have a crazy good time, especially in Zion. Zion's really nice.
Bring water.
It's beautiful. Actually, so my thing, Eric, is that when you first go into Zion, there's a bridge that you go over, like right at the beginning, and it has one of the most amazing views to take a picture at. So I highly recommend check that out. It's like a bridge that goes over like a wash or a little like creek or river. Stop, park, get out, and go take a picture there because it's beautiful, and it's totally worth it. It's like beautifully framed and everything. So go check that out.
Where did we park when we were there? Because we didn't just like pull to the side of the road.
No, there's a
we
pull-off.
walked there. Okay.
For that piece, there was like little parking section.
You're
we
right.
stopped at.
Right.
Nick P is saying he's doing Mexican tonight and going to Colorado tomorrow. Nice. And Mark Walters is heading to Yellowstone this fall.
So Nick P.
Forward to it.
Sorry, I'll get back to that in 1 second. So Nick P, are you driving through the Petrified Forest tomorrow on your way to Colorado? Let me know, because I've done that drive a bunch, and it's pretty cool. I've never been to Yellowstone, Mark, in South Dakota. Yeah. I've been to North Dakota. If you need any tips, I don't know how, they're pretty old at this point, but yeah, that area of the country is gonna be so cool. I know you and I were messaging, and I'm really excited that you guys are gonna, like, I was just excited to hear that they were able to have him do some like remote work and everything, so that they could actually do that. That's gonna be great.
Yeah, so Eric B is saying that, you know, they're flying from New Orleans to Vegas tomorrow.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
cool. And Thomas is saying that dogs terrify him.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But not so in the UK. I think they're better trained. Yeah, I would pretty firmly agree with you on that. I feel like people are very into like well-trained dogs, just well-groomed dogs, especially in London. It's just fun to see all the dogs there.
Yeah, so Blaine is asking when we're coming to Savannah, Georgia, or Hilton Head Island, South Carolina.
So we had that as Plan B, but we're now going to the UK next month in a few weeks for probably 2.5 to 3 months. Yeah. And we're going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, doing our live streams from the UK.
That's the plan. Our backup was always to do a road trip kind of through the south and out west. That was kind of our goal for the year, at least before things got a little out of hand here in the U.S. from a COVID perspective. So we started looking at abroad because it seemed like a reasonable second option, and it became our first option. So that's what we're planning on doing right now. We have tickets booked, but if it doesn't happen,
we probably have to be more careful with COVID than like certain other travelers would be, just by nature of, like, we're very close to Derek's family, and there's autoimmune in his family. So,
but what I would say is that, you know, I've got fraternity brothers and good friends who live in Atlanta now, and, you know, whatnot, out in Georgia, and I got family in like North Carolina, South Carolina, all that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't mind heading out there. So like next year, hopefully when things get a little bit better from a pandemic standpoint,
like early next year,
it'd be great to get out there, and I would love to do that. So I think that's on our list.
So Nick says he's already been to the Petrified Forest. He had to cut it short because he found a screw in his tire.
Oh no!
Hopefully you were able to change your tire pretty easily. Derek told me he's going to teach me how to change a tire. Because I actually don't know. But he says it's really important to know, so...
It is. It's funny, my dad, back when I was like 16 or whatever, getting my license, he's like, you gotta know how to change a tire. So he made me go change a tire for no reason. Like, there's no issue. He's like, put on the spare, and then take the spare off and put the other one back on.
His dad is so handy, by the way.
My dad just changed a tire today.
He did. He was like, oh, the tire got flat on my work car. So we just like literally changed it in the driveway when he got home.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm sweaty. And we're like, okay, we're going to go live stream now. Sorry, we would have helped you if we had known.
No, I offered to help, but he told me no. So he's like, I don't want you to get nasty. So Darian is saying, very cool. I plan on doing live streams as well from Germany. I'm really getting into it, LOL. Yeah,
you
Darian,
are.
It's awesome, man. We
and
love
I'm sorry,
we love
I think we
tuning
missed
in.
your most recent live stream. We've been swamped. But we're gonna have a lot more free time.
We hope to be a lot better about like joining into live streams, but
the last 2 weeks have been like insane for us. But it's getting a lot. It's already gotten a lot better over the past couple days. I feel.
Yeah.
And I think
we're getting more time to actually do stuff, which is nice. It's like between the unpacking and like
the packing,
unpacking,
then the unpacking. and then the getting everything settled.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on. But Blaine, you're saying that many people are doing the all-inclusive resorts to Mexico, so those options have been on many minds. I think that doing that would be really cool, and I would totally do that right now in Mexico. That was one of the places that I really wanted to go to, and if Europe had closed down and was not an option for us, Mexico was high on my list of places to go to, because it's a place that we
Good night,
haven't
Bonnie.
spent.
That's so sweet of you to say.
Thanks, Bonnie.
See you next week, by the way.
It's one of those places that we have been to, but we haven't spent a significant time in, and we want to. And we feel like we could get around because we speak enough of the language to actually go
To
get by and not feel totally stranded from a language perspective. So Mexico is high on our list, and a place that we really
I
want to
understand
get
the
to.
all-inclusives, and if you're really itching to get out of the country, like this might be the time to do the Mexican all-inclusives, for sure.
Nick, that's awesome. You're riding a narrow gauge railway to Durango. Or in Durango.
Okay, wait.
Sweet.
If you're going to Durango, love it. Okay, so I've been twice, actually. And I have a friend that lives there. So they have incredible hiking there. Definitely go to Silverton if you have time to do that little side trip. But there's a really cool mountain that you can drive up and kind of get a great view of Durango. And then there's also whitewater rafting there. I think it's down the Uncompahgre River, if I'm remembering correctly. And it's like literally in the middle of town. You can just do whitewater rafting. And you're going like the perfect time of year to be in Durango too. Oh, I'm so jealous. Just even talking about it. It's so beautiful there. You're going to have a blast.
All right. Eric B is reminding us that Megan Morris, Nick D, and Two Travel and Tour are all in Mexico right now.
Really? I didn't even know Megan was there.
It's crazy.
I knew Two Travel and Tour were there.
I forgot about that. That's awesome.
That's so cool. I didn't know Nick D was there either.
Why aren't we in Mexico?
Because we're here.
Love my
So
family.
Derek's parents have a little pontoon boat for the lake too. So we've been having some.
We've been out on the boat a couple
boat
times.
Yeah.
Hopefully get back out on it, but it's supposed to rain over the next couple of days because of Hurricane Laura coming through and everything. So
Yeah.
have to play that by ear. But yeah.
That's really cool that they're all in Mexico right now. I hope they're having fun.
Yeah. And Darian saying, yeah, life is busy for sure. I totally understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been too busy.
Yo,
But we're pulling ourselves
it's
out
funny.
of
It's
it
gotten to the point where,
slowly.
like, today, Eliz said, she's like,
Look at your hair.
she's like, oh yeah, floof. Eliz is like, you know what? I think it would feel really good, like, once we just get to Edinburgh and can, like, quarantine for 2 weeks and have nothing to do. Basically, it's like, that would be nice. It's like, because once you get there, it's like, all right, we have a suitcase and that's like it. We just, like, unpack and we're done.
Yeah. Oh, so another thing that happened to us this week, it feels like it's just such a blip, but so we unpacked all of our clothes into the closet, and then the closet rod, like hours later, just fell. And so, like, just ripped off the wall and fell.
Well,
And so we
okay.
had to, like, go to the Home Depot and get a brand new closet system and stuff. It was like one of those things where we're like, we thought we finally unpacked.
Yeah, so to take that back, Eliz was like super excited because she felt like she was close to like unpacking, and then probably like 10 minutes later there was a huge crash, and it was the closet just collapsing on itself, which caused us to like spend another like day like putting all that stuff together.
Yeah.
Because we had to like take all the clothes out, and then we had to like go buy a new closet system that could actually support all of our clothes, which was like way too heavy. We just like crammed too much stuff into that closet, and now we have a closet that can support it.
Yay.
Knock on wood. It is getting late.
It is getting late. But I just want to say, Nick's gonna go to Durango and Silverton, and I'm super pumped. Just to add to your itinerary, because why not? If you can go to Ouray, I doubt the hot springs are open during COVID-19, but it's so cute and very different from Silverton. Spelled Ouray, and it's like in the mountains. Beautiful, beautiful spot. And I have, again, no idea if it's open right now, but there's this fun bar there too and stuff. Like kind of just this old-timey spot. So, awesome part of Colorado. You've chosen well, my friend.
All right, we need to go check out Two Traveling Tours live from Wednesday from Mexico. It's still up, and Nick D and Megan came on camera.
Oh wait, they're all in the same place? Wait a minute. Yeah, that's awesome. If they're all in the same spot even. That's really cool.
Nick D, yeah, we're in Mexico. Surprise.
Nick D, hello!
Surprise.
People are talking about you.
Megan and I are a couple. I didn't know that.
Nice.
Very cool.
Nick,
hey, guys.
Nick DeMorris? Is that it? D' Morris?
Nick D. Awesome, bud. I hope you're enjoying Mexico. Yeah, is it Cancun? Is that where you guys are?
Mary Ellen asked the same thing, so
Yeah.
we'll hear. I believe
that's awesome.
That's right.
That's really cool.
That's so fun that you guys are all there together. Lori says go to Oaxaca, and the coast is awesome, and also the food, and the cheese, and the chocolate. I've never been to Oaxaca, but I've had Oaxacan cheese and I've had Oaxacan chocolate, and I can only imagine how much I would like Oaxaca itself. Nick P says I'm staying with the first cousin of my mom near Durango. She hasn't seen him in 30 years.
Oh,
Man,
wow.
that'll be really cool.
No, that's neat. That would be your first cousin once removed, I think.
Could be first cousin of his mom.
So wouldn't that be once removed? First cousin?
Oh, he's the first cousin once removed. Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, Nick D, how's the food? That is a great question. I would love to know how the food is because, Mexican food is awesome.
Sharon at Sea went to Cabo last week. Looked beautiful. Yeah, we were looking at Mexico a little bit. But we're gonna go to the UK instead.
But Mexico's so nice.
Mexico will be nice, but when we go to Mexico, we're gonna go with your grandfather, and he won't even leave the house right now. So
Nick D, Playa. All right, so they're in Playa del Carmen, so it's very close to Cancun.
Nice.
They're having a good time.
Oh, that's so great.
Okay, well, have a great dinner. Thank you so much for dropping by.
Yeah,
I really
thanks for joining.
It. Oh my goodness.
You chose an amazing time to join too. My oh my, what timing.
Thank you.
You must have heard your ears ringing.
Oh, food is hit or miss. I'm so sorry to hear that. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Thank you very much.
So many good things about Isla Mujeres.
Island of the Women, heck yeah, sign me up.
I hear it's so beautiful and so much fun.
Yeah. But again, Nick and Megan and everybody, thank you so much.
Nick, Megan, Kim, Neil, have so much fun.
Yes,
that sounds like a blast.
We really appreciate it. I mean, while you're traveling, thank you for tuning up. That's so nice.
Yeah.
But we should get going. It's getting late here.
And we finished our wine.
But thank you to everybody who joined us today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we look forward to sharing. We get out of here and actually go travel.
Thank you guys for tuning back in, by the way, because I know we've had, we canceled, we had technical difficulties the last few weeks, and so hopefully we're back in action. It seems like we finally got this to work. And things got a little bit better after a slow start. So thanks to everybody for sticking with us, and catching up with us. We had a really great time just hearing where everybody's at. Nick, enjoy southwestern Colorado. It's the most beautiful spot in August, I feel. So you've chosen well. Nick D and Megan, enjoy Mexico. Everybody else, just have fun where you're at, because we're all traveling vicariously, I feel right now for the most part. Hopefully we'll have some more updates for you all next week about our UK trip and exactly where we're going to be. So tune in next Thursday. We'd love to see you all back. 7 p.m. Central. We're actually on Eastern time now, so 8 p.m. Eastern where we're at. And we really hope you guys have a wonderful week. It's been awesome to see you all after a little bit of time off. And yeah, bye everybody. Cheers.